Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turn. I'm here with James Farley,
Hello.
Sean Bell,
Hello.
Matthew Murray.
Hello.
We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers this month. They are, of course, the Full Nels crew, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Smooth Monkey, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Gordon Garrow, Safe as Records, Sam Higton, Jonathan Edwards, Happy Birthday James S. from Tom S. all month, Fred Fenge, Tom S., Ryan Cobain, Hayes Red Mist, Sonic the Fighters Champion and Sound Pete's Enthusiast, Skylar from Suv Dakuda, and a new Full Nels member. It's Josh Hunt. Full Nels! He's got Full Nels. You can do too by going to patreon.com/TCGS. We're one away from we could do a full football match. Yep. We just need two linesmen now. We've got a referee. We just need the
Josh Hunt is the ref. Sorry, Josh.
Unless someone else volunteers, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
We need more than that because we need somebody to operate the VAR.
I was about to say VAR, yeah, we need to get a VAR operator, yeah.
Not if you're playing in one of the better leagues in the country.
And ball people.
Patreon.com/TCGS supporters. You could there's different tiers. You could go full Nelson, join this football match that we seem to be creating, or
we should do that next TCGSCon. It's like Soccer Aid, but cool.
Few things.
But we
I
take
want
all the
to
money.
go through.
Yeah.
What? So you reckon next TCGSCon should be Wembley Stadium with a football match to start with? James, you're just going to have to ignore the fly, mate.
Yeah. Also, if you're going to do that, explain for the audio listeners.
I did mute it. I muted it. It's fine. You don't even.
We can see it.
We can see it.
Yeah, for those listening at home,
it's
James
funny,
is doing his best Tim Henman impression.
He's got what looks like a tennis racket, which apparently is what is it? A fly swatting device that has
it's an electric fly swatter.
Lick the bat, James.
No, I'm not licking the
lick
bat.
the
The bat. Turn it on and lick the bat. If you're willing to kill a fly with it, then you should be willing to lick the bat.
Yeah, you need to know what they're going through.
He's a hypocrite.
You've hit the fly with it 8 times and it's not killed it.
Still not died.
Normally it's not that bad.
Have you turned it on?
A couple of times. It's turned on. It's definitely
started doing it.
Running
That's
out
quite
of
nice, actually.
Yeah. It turns out, James, you found a bat that not a lot of bat. You found a fly that likes it.
One of the. Why do we podcast with him?
I don't know.
Starting to realise now.
Because the thing is, right, because if I don't get rid of it, then everyone's going to be complaining, oh, there was this really weird buzzing noise on the audio. So it's like, that's why I'm trying to get rid of it.
I don't think
have you got rid of it?
Right.
No, because it keeps getting away.
No, I guess the difference there, James, is Sean's editing this week. Sean could probably noise removal the basic buzzing, but he can't noise removal you going up.
Yeah. We've got a few things to go through before we go to get to feedback. The first being, we were mentioned on a podcast again. We always love these moments when we get mentioned on other podcasts. We will play them and talk about them. And this one was on a show called Ask the Accountant. And Aaron Patrick is the host of that show. And they were at TCGSCON North North. Try and guess which one of the presenters was on the back of a rather heavy couple of days up in Sunderland.
Social media platforms. And as ever, every week, my co-host is here. Aaron, how are you and how are you feeling?
Hello, everybody. I am just very grateful that you are the co-host of today's show.
I am going to apologise now for Aaron's sound quality. He's got a broken microphone. And Aaron has got man flu.
Oh, God. I'm not having.
I like that. The shock and horror of having that and just going, no!
Too many speaking gigs?
Well, actually, I mean, it was just it's just been a very good weekend, and I think I just maybe burnt too many candles both ends, sort of thing. So yeah, it was actually, I might as well say now, I went to another podcast not accounting related, but they did a annual conference type idea, like get together. Basically, they're like their con, they called it. It was North North in Sunderland.
Yeah.
And the guys are called the Computer Game Show. And what I learned a lot from that was just how how a community can be put together and run, and how they can put on this thing. We did Laser Quest, we did mini golf, we did all sorts of, as you would call it, organised fun.
That's right, organised fun.
the best
Aaron,
kind.
thanks for giving us a shout out, even though it sounded really hard to make any noises with your mouth during that recording. I mean, I don't know if you listened back to the pod that we put out last week, but I was in a similar situation. Trying to work out why that is. I was the same after the last TCGSCon. I'm partly putting it down to not having mics for the
I was going to
live
say
show.
that will not have helped. I mean, I was really worried because even after, so like at the end of the night on the Friday, so we went down the day before, and I was like, shit, my voice is going, and I've got to host a quiz tomorrow. Thankfully, it was all right, but yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean, we're not going to go into it much. There's a few things
we
we
haven't.
haven't.
It in everyone's faces.
Yeah, it's
Well,
gonna be
we
a
haven't
45
really,
minute
we've
part.
sort of been banging on about it, right? And I'm sort of conscious of that. But also, there is a few things from that weekend that we haven't really spoken about. Firstly, to officially, we sort of briefly mentioned it on the past pod. Officially, the winner of the Laser Quest TCGSCon North North was Sean Bell. Well done, Sean. Absolutely worthy winner. We're really,
Excellent.
I was absolutely blown away by the spirit that your side put. I had a shocker. We lost our first two games and then we beat James, so we didn't go. We didn't.
I think what surprised me the most was that, like, I mean, my whole team was great, but I was assuming that even if we did all right, it would be me getting carried, right? I just thought I was shite at Laser Quest, but no.
Sean, don't push it, mate.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
second
come
and
on.
third games,
I don't think you really
unbelievable.
won. The whole
The
thing was bollocks
surprising
anyway.
thing. Right, hold on, we'll come to that. The surprising thing that surprised me the most is how good I was.
Brilliant.
Come
I
on,
was
Sean.
actually. No, I'm just
word.
saying I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked. It
I'm
was weird.
I'm
Like coming
really
out of those
good.
last two matches, and I was like top. And I think I was second in the leaderboards.
I'll be
the
honest
second
with you. We don't need to go into that. What I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. You really surprised us because we played the first game against Matt's team, and they spanked us. And then the
Ripped you a
second
new
game, we
one.
went. Well, you say ripped you a new one. You camped. I mean, we can go into your tactics.
It wasn't a
Matt.
huge arena. I think we're
can go into
using
your
strategically
tactics in a
the
little bit.
area we had available to
But
us.
they sat in one area and just shot from the back, basically, right? So we
because-
said, right,
what?
we're going to do that to Sean. We'll do that to Sean. So when we did, we all got into the back of that arena, all waited for you. And there was a good 2 minutes without a gun being fired in our match, I think. Because we were like, I think you were doing the same, but the other side of the arena. So, I mean, tactically, you were the most impressive, I thought.
Thanks, mate.
Well,
So, worthy winners.
Not sure about
Matt, go
Just
on.
told everyone to have fun with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
that.
go
Yeah,
on.
I
important
enjoyed
bit.
that, Sean. That did make me laugh. Just have fun with it, lads. In the final where you shouldn't have been.
We should have been in the final.
No, right, okay.
Absolutely
Just for
should have
those
been
who
in the
weren't there, we had a bunch of games. My team had not lost a game. We had won two. David won one game.
Yeah.
Sean had won one game, and James had won
Yeah.
one game. And yet somehow
But
Sean was
had a
in the
game
final.
in hand. Sean had
What?
a game in hand, so he could
Did he?
only. Yeah, of course he had.
Okay, well,
because he
still.
hadn't played you. So he'd
Still,
won one
okay,
and lost
right.
one.
So-
We'd lost two and won one. James had lost two and won one.
Yeah.
Right. So
So
the
we
only
had
one
won
that
two.
could possibly have beaten you
Yeah.
is Sean.
Okay, right.
And
But
because Sean beat you in that last game, it
it
goes
was
down
2-2.
to head to head.
it was 2-2.
Yeah, so it goes down to who won the game between you two.
It was the
And
decider.
who won the game between you two?
Well,
remember.
yeah, Sean won, but surely that would
Okay.
make it 2-2, and then we can have a final. Or
No,
we'll
because
look
that
at
was
the
the
average,
decider.
aggregate
There
score.
wasn't time for the final.
Well,
The
we should have
decider
made
was that
time.
last one.
Sean didn't win. Sean didn't win.
He's
2-2.
did
I
win,
reckon-
Matt.
I reckon
No,
he
it was
won by
2-2.
someone.
He won the
Sorry.
decider, Matt.
No,
tell you what.
how was that fucking decider? It was
James.
like 2 to me, and like 1-1-1. Like, how was that?
Do you
That's
know-
not
do you know what
decider.
I
That
found really
equaled,
interesting?
that equaled us.
Do you know what I found really interesting? There was none of this chat before the final.
No.
Do you know what I mean? There was no mention of any of this before the
No.
final.
Yeah.
He just come out to it. and started shouting at everyone. And then I thought, he must have. We were having a lovely game of golf, weren't we, when this was going on? When everyone was kicking
Yeah,
off.
because you two are shit. You know, we're going to golf now. We'll focus on golf, shall we?
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, as bad as I was, I still come out the winner because I won the Mario Kart tournament, Matt.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that was
that was
money for
amazing. The fact that you won, like the the
Matt's going,
tournament.
you've got to give it to charity. You've got to give it to charity. You've got to give it to charity. I
Why?
went, Matt, I'm not.
I didn't say that, did I? I think I said
Yeah,
buy
fair and
cocktails.
square.
You said it several times. You've got to give it to charity.
I think I said.
I'm not a celebrity, Matt. This isn't. I didn't even run this tournament. I had nothing
You won
to
it
do
at your
with
own event.
It was, well, with
Yeah, but
skill.
if anything, it just the fact that Dave and I were in the final just sort of cemented why we're.
You weren't in the final.
Doing a
You weren't,
podcast.
just like you weren't in the
weren't
final
in
with
the
fucking
final, Sean.
Was I not in the final?
Laser
Oh,
Crest.
right, I
No,
got that
you
wrong
were
then.
not in
Two
the
finals,
final.
you weren't in, Sean.
The semi. That's the same.
You were in the semi-final.
Yes,
of
Who
the
was in the
Mario Kart
final
tournament.
then? It was you.
The
and who
final
else?
is me and I. Oh, it's terrible. I can't remember his name. So,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't-
it's
I
not-
reckon
but he
I
was
probably in it.
lovely.
I reckon no one remembers.
No
me
need,
probably in
no
the
need, no need to remember.
But I absolutely smashed him. Absolutely smashed him. So walked away
Whoever they were.
with the £48 and a bunch of Pokemon cards, which my son was actually. They said they only got crap ones from it, so they weren't.
That's
impressed.
not slag off.
Would rather have the money. Cash equivalent.
But yeah, so Matt, 2 finals in a row, 2 losses. How you feeling?
Well, this one wasn't the final. We've clarified that.
Because we all said it was the final.
We
No,
decided
no,
we all
no.
agreed
Sean
that's
won
just,
we all
to
agreed
get
that
to
it was
where
the
we
final.
got to, so it wasn't a final, and I don't count this.
Right. Okay. So what we do
Well,
officially,
it's a witch hunt, and it's an
Officially.
unjust win, and I'm sorry, but no.
officially, I'm a Laser Quest champion, and
And Sean
welcoming
isn't.
Wait, hang
with
on.
open arms to Sean Bell.
Sean does
who
not
joins
get the
me
red jersey.
in the Hall of Champions
Bollocks! No, I'm not.
in
not,
the
not accepting it.
TCGSCON
No
Champions.
one.
And I
We
think
should
we've
get
all
little
agreed.
gold statues made.
Yeah, we should do. We should, or get like a star stitched onto our shirt to highlight our wins.
Pathetic. No, because I was actually on Aaron Patrick's team, and we were livid. I mean, he had to hold me back. I was about to.
We just heard his voice, and he said, "I had a lovely time." So I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
if
I
anything,
agree
his
with
voice
you,
gave us away. So
Anyway, TCGSCON. Also, let's not go into the fact that you wore a ghillie suit covering up the sensors of your.
But no,
vest.
that wasn't true. They were on top. Clearly,
That's
they were
not
on
why I
top.
heard.
Yeah, that's a good
That-
point.
that
because
was a
all that
rumour that was
grass-
started by
all
someone.
that grass was hanging over, like all
Exactly.
the
No, it
sensors
wasn't.
and
No,
everything.
Exactly,
the
James.
suit went on top of the ghillie suit. Like
And
someone's
several
like, "Matt, I've
people
heard."
said they tripped over him because he was laying down on his front to cover
that
up
did
half
happen
of
once.
his sensors.
That happened once.
So
It's a member of my own
Going
team.
on,
So
wasn't
actually,
it?
member of
that
my
could
own
have been
team tripped over.
disqualified, if anything.
I may have put a member of my
Such
own
a
team.
fucking cheater. I don't. Get
I'm
why
not a
you
fucking
need to
cheater. I
cheat.
was using the arena strategically,
pragmatic.
plus I wore ghillie suit.
Okay. TCGSCON North North. That's the last you'll hear of it.
Should we quickly just say like how fucking amazing everyone was?
It
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
It was
had a great
meeting
time.
everyone. It was honestly. It was unbelievable. It was bizarre from the moment we turned up when we walked into the lobby and we checked into our hotel and the receptionist said, "Are you here for the Laser Quest and live show tomorrow?" And we went, "We are the live show tomorrow."
I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's much else on in Sunderland. To be fair, I think we're,
Well, let's not
That's,
go.
that's out of order, Sean. They do have a McDonald's.
Let's not talk about Sunderland. It was amazing seeing everyone, and it's funny because I think we weren't downhearted, but we were like, okay, this is a smaller event because it's less
a bit
tickets
harder
sold
to
and all
get
that sort
to
of
for
stuff.
a lot of people, and
Harder to get
obviously,
to, all of
cost
that.
living, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Didn't feel like it. Didn't
No.
feel like it.
No,
Felt
that was awesome.
amazing from start to finish. Lots of drinks drunk, lots of pizzas eaten.
Yeah, those cocktails are real good.
James Farley was pissed about 8 times during that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because
Yeah.
I kept on sobering up and then like going back in again. It was.
Yeah, one of
What
my
I loved
favourite
about-
moments was after James sobered up, maybe like the second or third time. I hadn't seen him for a bit, and then we're about to play in a match, and he's like, "Let's go fighting!" It's laser crest, James.
What I love about James being drunk is he did the thing that, to me, is always a good indicator of how pissed someone is when they come to me and start explaining that, see, the thing is, these cocktails, they don't even taste like alcohol. They're just sweet.
Really?
He you know, when James was first pissed on the podcast all that time ago on one of our
Episode 2.
Gotti shows, one of our Gotti shows, I remember telling people, do you know what's wild? Is that James isn't like, he doesn't drink. So for him to get drunk is really strange. I can't say that anymore, James, because you just seem to be getting pissed at the drop of a hat these days.
That's not true. That's not true. It's only just for special occasions.
And a Street Fighter stream.
And Street Fighter stream.
Special occasions.
Yeah.
He's a very blessed existence.
Thanks to everyone that turned up, and I hope you enjoyed the pod last week. Now, Matt, you weren't on the show the week before. Have you got any notes from?
I do actually. I was gutted to miss the episode because Ellie Gibson was amazing, like
so
is there
genuinely
anything
amazing.
worse than taking a week off and everyone saying how amazing the episode was?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. It was like one of the best episodes of all time. Like, I am here, you know. That's a bit. I can see the Discord posts, but no, Ellie was amazing. Ellie was amazing.
Do you know what was great about having Ellie on last week?
Go on.
Joe said, "You had a scummy mummy on." I was like, "Yeah, how?" I was like, "I know them." I was like, right. Then I was showing her clips from the show.
Joe.
Yeah. Hey, we're actually, we got it, baby. Yeah, so she was all. I got some kudos points from my wife for having Ellie on, but
I reckon
yeah,
we'll get Dara O'Brien next.
Yeah,
No
but what's he
danger.
gonna do?
He did Simon Parkin's bloody podcasting duos.
Right, I know, but he's
Good
not
point.
going to do ours. And what's he do? He go, I don't know. And that's the problem. I'd love
We're gonna play this to him when he's on next.
He's never
I'd
coming
love
on
to
now.
have. I'd love to have like Dara O'Brien on the show, but trying to say to him, yeah, it's like 2.5 hours long on a Monday night, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like
You're not
that's
busy, are you? Yeah.
that's the hurdle to get over, isn't it? It's fucking mad.
No, we'll pay you. Pay you good money. Well, I mean, not good money, but we'll pay you.
Yeah, it's not money.
Some money.
You will get some money.
You'll get some cash.
Right. Any other notes, Matt?
Well, I haven't given you my first note.
Let's go for the first note then.
So it's just as well I wasn't on because there's a point where you, all 3 of you or 4 of you, were doing puns involving the word Kess, and basically the episode would have been like 4 hours long if I'd. I was listening. I was like, how's no one said Kess friend's wedding? Like best friend's wedding.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about 4 hours long. We would have cut you off straight after that one, Matt. I think. We'd have
Okay,
gone,
well,
no.
You got any more,
I'll
Matt?
get through this quickly. I didn't play the Plague Tale sequel.
Okay.
I know
Sorry,
you.
was that all the Kes puns?
Yeah.
No, I had loads more to delete them. I was like,
I thought he was
I'm not
gonna
going to
list
waste
it.
He's
it.
deleted him.
I'm not going to waste it on these wankers.
I didn't hear the word Kes in that. Go on.
Yeah. I wrote here, Ellie was so good it made me sick. And Sean didn't mention the URL in the feedback section.
Yeah, sorry.
But, okay.
So,
But
would you like to apologise now, Sean?
I did back on the episode.
Would you like to apologise again?
No, I'm
To
right.
me?
Did it once.
Wait, Matt. So this is what I don't get. You were a massive fan of that fucking Plague Tale game, right? And
Yeah,
you
the
banged
first
on and
one,
on
yeah.
and on and on about it. And then
First
you kept
one, yeah.
going, I can't wait for the second one to come out. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. What happened?
Something else came out, David.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what. Yeah, I do. Well, I would like to play it because I love the first one so much, but just didn't. But
But you just
would.
didn't.
I just didn't. For whatever reason, something else came out. I was like, fuck that rat game. But the first one was great, and I hope everyone plays
That's the
it.
episode title. Fuck that rat
Fuck
game.
the rat game. Now you can't have the F word, can you? And-
No, you can't.
Well, we
Leave the
don't
bat
know.
lid.
We don't
Don't call
know.
me that.
We haven't tested
You
it.
never tried.
Okay,
it.
right. Should this week's episode be called the thing I want to call
My
it?
sin.
No. Let's just stop being silly. We've already started silly, haven't we? Let's calm it. Let's take it down a notch. Any other feedback, Matt?
That was it. It's a great episode. Guy that wasn't on, and everyone who said it was a great episode in Discord should take a good long look at themselves.
It was funny though, and I said to Ellie afterwards, it's mad how most of our guests have done this, right? It's all of them have done it. It's mad how lucky we've been with guests, and B, how they just instantly just go, oh no, I can be like, do you know what I mean? They get the show instantly.
Yeah.
And Ellie was one of those for sure. Should we get some feedback from the listeners, Mr.
Oh yeah, that's me as well, isn't it?
Matt, or who
Yep.
is it?
Rafi, excellent show last week. Oh God, fucking hell, more of this. All this bollocks. Excellent show last week. Ellie Gibson was great, but I hope James is feeling okay because they did not hold back. One of the questions last week was, what could films learn from video games? And for me, there's one simple answer: audio level settings. I'm fed up of listening to two people seemingly whisper to each other, grabbing the remote to turn the volume up, and then there's a huge explosion that shakes the house. Give me power to adjust the dialogue, sound effects, and music separately, so I don't have to have my hands on the trigger of the remote like a Western duel to drop the volume.
See, that's true.
Well,
but then that's also the other reason why I like to have subtitles on always, because then it's less of a bother.
Yeah, but you shouldn't.
a bit distracting.
That's very
Because
Gen Z,
hand,
James.
on the one hand, I understand the argument. It's like, no, if you're making a film, you have complete control over how everything sounds. It's like, yeah, but you can't prepare for every single audio setup that people might have at home or whatever, right?
So you go for a very basic two speaker stereo sound mix, right? That's what you should do, but they don't. They go 5.1 for default, and that's why it sounds so fucked. Or 7.1 for default. It's like, I'd love to see the percentage of people that watch these films on a proper setup, because I bet it's tiny.
Well, this is it, because I do, but it's a fucking pain in the arse. Like,
Well, how do you mean?
Just like, because it's all, because I've got the TV and then I've got the AV amp, which then connects to other stuff, and it's all supposed to use this thing called ARC, which means all the devices can talk to each other.
Yep.
So if I turn the Xbox on,
No wonder you can't hear the movie.
I'll turn on the amp and then the TV, and I'll set the inputs and blah blah blah. It fucking never works. It just doesn't work, right? And you have to fuck around doing things manually. Sometimes you'll turn the TV on and the amp won't turn on, so you're just listening through the TV speakers. And obviously it bothers me because I'll be walking down the stairs and I can hear that Nu's got the TV on.
Doesn't even know.
She's not using the amp. She doesn't even realise. I'm like, because she's normal, right? And she doesn't care.
Yeah, because she's a normal person. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, it's one of those things. Like I'm a bit of a knob for sound stuff, and even I admit it's just fucking annoying to get a soundbar.
Okay, what's going on? We've got two people laughing here. What's going on?
Okay, what's up?
What's going on?
No, it's just Matt's joke was so terrible that it just made me laugh.
Right, okay. Matt's joke was really bad.
It's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, I think the thing
Aaron Patrick's on the show.
The other thing that's really maddening about like what Rafi's suggesting is I'm pretty sure it's totally possible because they're already mixed separately, right? Because you can change the dialogue language.
Yeah,
that must be separate. That's completely on a separate.
Yeah, but the
audio
problem
track.
is you need to go in. I think, if I'm right, this is so boring, but you need to go into the player settings to change that to stereo, your TV settings to change that to stereo, and your and the DVD settings to change that to stereo for it to actually work, right? What? Oh, just why is this not a bigger deal? Why are the government not bringing this up in PMQs?
Because it's boring. Can we just move on?
This should be the Labour manifesto to fix this. But also you have the films like Tenet where you still can't hear the audio, but then that's obviously, director style and that.
Not seen it. Right, next.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah. The Bard, aka William Shakespeare. I take immense pleasure in telling people in my hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon that Avon means river in oldie English. So they shouldn't say River Avon because on a very specific technicality it's wrong. They all think I'm a cunt.
Why have you said it?
Should I be bothered?
Right, I've got one issue with this. Willie Shakes, you fucked up. Because Avon does not mean river in Old English. It means river in Welsh. You tit.
Right. Also, Avon doesn't mean any of those things. It means the old lady that turns up at your doorstep with some perfume and that.
That's still a thing.
That's worse than my joke.
It got away from Sean. It got away.
Yeah, but James almost died on mine.
Yeah, because of how bad it was.
Laughs and laugh.
Do you remember that? Avon calling.
It's still a thing. There was someone who used to work with who still, and she was like our age, and she was like an Avon sales person, and like I just found it really strange that
Making
people
a
still
fucking
bother.
mint. Were you trying
Massive
to become one of
pyramid
was it? Yeah, was it one of those?
Well, sorry, no, it's called an
Become
MFM
one of
these
my
days,
agents.
isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
is that
Oh
what
God,
they're called,
yeah. I remember. Do I say who it was? I don't say who it was.
Yeah, say it.
Someone got
Princess
in
Diana.
touch with me.
Yeah, it was Diana.
Well, no, because people actually know. There's some people I know actually know who this is, but they got in touch with me on Facebook
Diana.
and said, I'm selling this stuff. Are you interested, or is your wife interested in doing this thing as well? And I watched the promotional video, and I said, it's a pyramid scheme. And she said, no, it's not. And I sent her a screenshot of the video, which literally had a guy in a suit pointing to a triangle on a whiteboard. And she blocked me.
Did she say it was multi-level marketing instead?
Yeah, she said
MLM,
something
not
like
MFM,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, a fucking joke.
Okay, I'm
Next.
thinking maybe like Patreon podcast idea. We all sign up for Avon people as Avon
See
people.
who sells
and,
the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that. Avon
And it's
race
called
2024.
What's it called, James?
Avon lads. No, I don't know.
Okay, Avon lads it is.
Avon lads.
The Avon lads. Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
my
we'll do
god,
that.
we've had about 40 episode titles already. It's nuts. Go on.
I'm sorry, I was writing down Avon lads.
Okay.
Right, where were we? We were here. Dean, hello TCG Estes Flask. Just wanted to congratulate you and say a massive thank you for hosting another incredible TCGS community event. The TCGS crew were on top form throughout. Sean hosted another top tier in the quiz inning. Big John and the staff smashed it again, with the venue and the community were incredible as always. I thoroughly enjoyed every moment, had some incredible interactions with everybody at the event, and can't wait for the next TCGSCon announcement. Keep it real, jungle is massive. Sean, I'm so sorry for spilling a cocktail on your trainers. Please send me the bill if they are ruined. Love you all from Dean.
You didn't tell me this. But you must not have been pissed off about it, because you would have told me this.
I don't think any went on my trainer. I think he just dropped it on the floor, sort of in the vicinity. I don't think any got on my trainers.
It's a big splash, wasn't it?
No, it's fine. Absolutely fine, Dean. Don't worry about
All
it.
good.
I mean,
Actually, I think he dropped some on my trainers as well, so there's a lot of spillage from Dean. Very embarrassing.
Do you want to know the strangest interaction I had at the event? Was when someone come up to me and said, "Oh, my dad was supposed to be here, but he had to work at the last minute. He's been listening to you. Like I found TCGS through my dad." And I was like, "Oh, we're at that stage now, aren't we?"
And when there were like 2 other father and son groups as well.
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw some father and sons there. That was mind blowing and also amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, it was that was super. That's just really cool to see, isn't it?
Sorry, what's just happened in the Google Doc?
Sorry, James Farley has just deleted something in the Google Doc that was going to defend me.
Well, no, because we've already discussed it. There's no point in going
Well,
over it again.
no, but put it back in the doc.
I would put that back in the doc, James.
Yeah, that is
There's
shocking.
literally no point. We've
That
already
is
discussed it.
honestly, Control Z that. Put it back in the doc, James.
Put it back in the doc. You're outrageous, James.
Unbelievable.
Stop fucking around with
There's
things.
literally no point in talking about it. We've already discussed
Editing
it.
the
That's for
news.
Matt to
Go on,
decide. It's his section.
Let's go on. Go
Well,
on.
I do
No,
that
we
for
just
your
let you do
news
the news however
section.
you want, and we never interrupt or criticise.
Buddy.
Go on, Matt.
Right, Aaron Patrick, the Cookbooks chat. What a legend. Hey guys, just want to say thank you for putting on such an amazing event with TCGS North North. Here's a bit that James was deleting. Don't forget, if you're taking aggregate score, Matt's team won the Laser Crest handsomely. We also got MVP player each round, so safe to assume history books will always say that Matt won North North, therefore King in the North. Thank you, Aaron.
Sadly incorrect, but I wouldn't want it not read out. Do you know what I mean?
No, and I think
I mean,
if you delete that, that's unprofessional.
That sort of work is what got you to the final. So congratulations for getting to the final, Matt. You lost the final.
No, we were the final. Anyway, I'll carry on.
That's
There were
what
so
happened?
many-
Sorry, what was the result of that final? What was the?
If that was no, it wasn't a final because you had to win
Oh,
the other
sorry,
one
it's
to
just-
even
you
get
just-
to where we
okay,
were, so it
right.
wasn't a final.
Matt-
Matt's
decider.
literally just bailing out of sentences at this point, Sean. I wouldn't worry
No,
about
I
it.
wasn't. I was just restarting a new one. Right, we'll carry on. There were so many people at the event, I didn't manage to say hello to everyone, but everyone was so friendly. The whole event was a blast, and I had such fun meeting everybody. You guys have created a world-class community that everyone should be proud of. Finally, we did a shout out on our pod this morning. Thank you, Aaron. We discussed that. If you fancy a listen,
See,
you just have
that's
done.
the bit you could have deleted, James.
Yeah, you
no
could
one would
have
have
deleted
minded.
I considered that, but I thought
Get
the other
it
bit
right,
was
James.
more worth removing.
Okay, I thought you
Right,
removed the obviously
okay, we've got
contentious bit.
Don't want to
one
keep
more
giving
here.
Matt a platform. What for?
What this? What? Okay.
No, I'm the one that gives Matt a platform.
I give myself a platform, mate.
Well, you didn't, did you?
Yeah, I kind of did.
Well, be a little bit more appreciative. Just go, you
I'm
did give me this
appreciative,
chance.
but also I am the platform. Right, Ian Lee is next. Dear TCGS, I'm bloody raging. I was enjoying the one where you recorded in cars and stuff and was chuckling away to myself. A lady thinking Dave was a cabbie called Sammy. Matt hinting at a surprise of a Laser Crest. James not playing Zelda. It was all going so well until Sean started talking about Brighton's infamous Pebble Beach. He claimed someone had, and this is in caps, covered the beach with pebbles to stop people loitering. Just think about that for a second. Someone somewhere was so annoyed by people spending over 30 minutes on a stretch of beach that they decided to cover about 10 miles of the British coastline with pebbles. Obviously, this is untrue. Brighton has a pebble beach because over millions of years the rocks and cliffs were ground away to smooth pebbles. Imagine the infrastructure that would have to be in place to manually cover an entire beach in pebbles. I am in a WhatsApp group with all of you, and I could have shared this there. However, I know how conspiracy
We're in a WhatsApp
theorists...
group with him, let's face it.
Yeah, he's part of our group.
Yeah.
However, I know how conspiracy theorists work, and this has been read and ignored. This story is like Farage and his bank. People know he was offered an account on NatWest, but the story's better off if that bit's left off.
I forgot about that story. It's
I
so
shall now treat
weird.
every fact shared on TCGS as if it is a tweet coming from the Right Said Fred Twitter account. Lots of love, Ian.
So, I mean, yeah,
If
go
you
on.
listen, Ian,
Oh, go on.
properly,
Oh, here we
I
go.
did say
Flag
on
with
that
broadcast.
episode, I'm pretty sure this is a load of shit.
But then why did you say it? Because here's the problem, Sean.
Yeah.
I tend to, when you say shit like that, the fact is usually so boring that I can't be bothered to look it up. And I just go, well, Sean, he's probably right.
That's
It's one of those
exactly
things
what
that
I did
I've
as well.
heard
I
and
just
then
assumed.
and just never like the opportunity to bring it up just never happened. Then as soon as it did, I was like, hang on, why am I saying this is clearly untrue? This is.
I
mean,
I just love
is
the
it,
idea
like-
of them getting bags of rocks.
But then on the one hand, I was like, I mean, yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but you know, we have built skyscrapers. Is covering a beach in rocks that ridiculous?
Yes, yes,
aside
it is
from the
way
fact
more
that aside from the
ridiculous.
fact there is
Like a-
literally no merit in it. Like, well,
Yeah,
that's
it
what
is
I'm
more. It is more ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, it is
Okay.
more
That'd
ridiculous.
have to be like a
It
government
is-
department, wouldn't there, for like pebbling beaches?
Well, maybe
And,
there
like-
should be.
For starters,
Yeah.
skyscrapers are worth a ridiculous amount of money.
Oh,
Put
yeah.
pebbles on a public
Brighton
beach.
Beach worthless to you, Dave. It's lovely.
Wait, it fucking is. Yeah.
Sean, can I ask
It's
one question?
covered
though?
in pebbles.
When
you can't
when
even
you
lay
go
down
to
on
a
it.
pebble beach, Sean,
Yeah.
do you like dig down like through the pebbles? Then you get to the sand and like, see, that's
No,
where
no,
that's
I
where
don't
the
even go on
sand's
It'd be like
supposed
a
to be.
receipt.
I
Yeah,
don't
the
even go
stones.
on it.
It's still in it.
Here's a-
still in that.
Here's the thing, though, Sean. Right, all of you, all of what you said, right? I get that. And I
Bollocks.
believe that's the way you thought, right? When you said it, you were thinking this clearly bollocks, right? I know you. The moment you read Ian's feedback, you went on the internet to try and see if you were right. Correct?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay.
I'm 100%. I'm assuming Ian's correct.
don't believe you. Yeah, no,
Okay.
Ian is
I
correct. 'cause
think what's
Googled it.
happened is I've misheard someone talking about like the different ways different beaches are used, right? And
Yeah.
for some reason I've gone, oh yeah, they do that on purpose.
Right. Was it Michael McIntyre on the will? Oh,
Joe,
bibbidi
Joe
bop,
Rogan
the-
experience.
Right. Okay. Cheers, Ian. Thanks for putting us right.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks,
Yeah.
mate.
Fred Fenge. I was loving TCGSCON North North episode until Mr. T-shirts called us dense. Really hope there's a TCGSCON South next year. Other than that, love the pod as normal.
I nearly
was a bit
took that
much.
out.
Yeah,
I
why?
nearly took that out. Because
Why, innit?
well, it's a bit rude, isn't it?
Yeah, that's me, mate. Get over it.
Have you? He's turned into the edgelord. The stuff that he was
Yeah,
doing
we
at the
found that
live
out on the
show,
quiz,
yeah.
all making
What do
jokes
you mean,
about
the
the submarine and
edgelord?
everything. You are. You turned into edgelord.
I'm not edgelord. I just
you
thought
are.
I was
Keep in
feeding
mind
off the
it.
audience. I was like, let's take it a little bit left side. You know what I mean?
Reciprocating the energy.
Let's
Let's
excite their
take it to
imagination. That's what I wanted to do.
Let's take it a little bit left side.
Yeah, let's take
What
it a
does
bit
that
out
mean?
of the ordinary.
That might be an episode title.
Is that
No,
yeah?
it's
Is
not.
that a phrase, Sean? Can you?
A little bit left.
you ever
well,
heard-
no,
No, let's go from the left field or
left
whatever.
field is a
Yeah.
thing.
No, I call it left side, mate.
Okay.
Okay, well that's
Well,
why.
you are
what
welcome.
makes
Kind
you
of
so
what they call
edgy.
me a maverick. And
No
also
one
the
calls
bad
you
boy
that.
British podcasting.
And also a total prick.
No, they don't call me that. Well, actually, some do. Fred Fenge does now. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, Fred. But maybe look in the mirror. Kurt Lewin, hi chaps. Enjoyed the quiz Matt put together last week. One thing I want to ask Sean right now is that can you remember the episode title of last week's episode? If not, can anyone remember it?
I mean, before I answer that, just want to say, yeah, Matt did do a really good quiz, didn't he, Kurt? Yeah, thanks, Matt, for the quiz that Matt did.
It was a great quiz, to be fair, Sean.
Oh yeah, where's that come from, Kurt?
Wow.
No, as I said, it was a great idea. I should have nicked it.
Oh, go on. It's the questions for you. Go on.
It was Keely's creeping in. Assuming we're doing that one,
that's
not
it.
the
Keely's
TCGSCON
creeping in.
North North.
Yeah, that was a
Very
good one.
good.
Well, there you go. Straight out your Kurt.
I mean, give
There
it
you
another
go,
week
Kurt,
and
can handle that, could you?
that'll be gone.
Is that it? Is that it for the feedback?
Yes, if you want to leave us feedback, go to tcgs.co/deartcs. And before we go to news, I'd like to make a public apology to Fred Fenge. I'm sorry.
Okay. And before we go to the news, there is one other bit of feedback that we need to get to. There's a bet in play at the moment, and it was one that we spoke about 2 weeks ago, and we left it saying we should sort the stakes out for this bet. Leave it a couple of weeks, let's brew on it, come up with some ideas. The bet is, Matt has bet James that when this new Star Wars games comes out, what is it, the Ubisoft one?
When his new Star Wars games comes out,
it will have a better Metacritic score than Jedi Survivor. Is that right?
yeah.
So you think it'll have a better Metacritic than Jedi Survivor? You don't look as confident this week. I must admit
I can't. That sounds about something I'd say.
Okay.
And yeah, I believe
So
it wholeheartedly.
So let's work out the stakes then. What's happening, James?
I
what have
mean,
you got for Matt?
what I wanted to do was, if Matt loses, was that I get to choose a tattoo for Matt to have.
That's strong.
Strong.
That is strong, James. I respect
Wow.
that. I respect that a lot.
But Matt, you've now got to decide whether you're going to go just as strong or you're going to say no. We need to take this down a touch. What are you thinking?
What is just as strong as a tattoo?
What? And
Oh,
then
no, we need to determine size, placement, etc. We can't be,
but you're going to get him to get a tattoo the other way round. Is that?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay. Oh my god! Right. Okay. James.
I think we need to determine size and placement, but we'll do it. Why not?
Should we be checking with the movie that you're going to be on? Regular listeners don't know about.
Oh
this,
my god!
but
Yeah.
Should we be checking with the movie you're going to be on whether they'll allow it if you've got a tattoo?
Yeah, for his
Should we
big
warn them?
scene.
Depends on the location of it, right? If it's covered up.
Okay. What are we thinking?
What do you mean?
What were you
Ball
thinking,
bag.
James? What were you thinking where Matt would get his tattoo?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I don't know, maybe on an arm or something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
Nothing
On an arm.
crazy,
No, can it be like somewhere people aren't going to see?
Well, yeah,
Say,
obviously. it could
Matt
be
wears
something
his
like that,
sleeves very short.
I do.
That's
You
true.
can see a lot of
Yeah.
my arms. Not
Yeah.
tonight.
What about your ass?
What about my ass?
Would you get a tattoo on your ass?
How
James
big is it?
Farley's choosing.
Well,
Do we not
hang,
need to, do we not need to
can you
think
give me an
about what the
example,
tattoos-
James? Give me an example of the kind of thing you're thinking about, because I need to determine where.
Yeah, because what's the tattoo going to be of?
Yes.
That I
Yeah,
haven't
that's-
determined yet, but it will probably be something Sega related, I'd imagine.
Oh.
Okay.
Could it not be that it's the logo of the game that had the highest Metacritic?
I'm not getting that.
I mean, I was actually just thinking about it. I'm thinking maybe Big the Cat or something like that from
Oh my
Sonic
God.
Adventure.
What about Matt has to get a Chelsea tattoo and James has to get a Palace one?
Absolutely not. There's no
Yeah.
other agreement.
I might ask you fine because no one's gonna see that. So yeah, let's do that.
Arse.
Club
James?
badges on the arse.
What did he say?
James? Club badges on the arse.
No, absolutely. I'm not doing
Come on,
that.
no, James, we'll get it done together. Like,
I'll do
if
it,
I
I'll do
lose,
it,
you'll
I'll
come
do
to
it.
Leeds.
Isn't
If I
the
lose,
point
I'll
that
go
only
to
one of you-
Germany.
Isn't the point that only one of you needs to get a tattoo?
Exactly, yeah. We're not both
Let's
doing
get
it.
excited now.
Let's all do it. Come on, Dave. We'll join.
Yeah, I mean, I've wanted tattoo for like years and years, and I've looked like people want to go with the kind of design, but I
was gonna
didn't
say, 'cause I
expect
thought
to
you
go
booked
straight
in.
into a Chelsea badge.
Didn't you book in
Man-
for one, Matt?
this
I
is
thought that
madness.
was all. I
I did, but I had to cancel it for reasons.
Fair enough.
Okay, here's the thing. Right, okay. We need to move on.
Yeah, we do.
And we can think about it.
Yep.
Should we agree to the tattoo on the arse? And then we can talk about size and negotiate size.
I'm not getting tattooed on my arse. That's not happening.
Okay, where would you want it then? So
I
Matt
thought
get it
my
on his
first
Because
arse.
what I love about
like
this
that.
is it's not
Okay.
about
There we
having
go.
a tattoo on the arse. I'm pretty sure it's just that James just doesn't want to get his arse out in front
Right,
of
which
it's
is
pretty
fine.
much
innocent
that.
Okay,
tattooist.
so Matt will get one on his arse. You'll get one on your shoulder, James.
Yeah.
And we'll decide placement.
That's
and...
way worse, but okay,
Yeah, okay, that's
fine. If
He
everyone,
never
everyone
takes
gets
his
it.
shirt off. though.
Exactly. I'll never take my shirt off, so it doesn't matter.
We've
Yeah,
seen
but
pictures
Chen
of him
will
at the
s-
beach with a t-shirt on.
I mean, I haven't
Okay.
cleared this with Chen yet, so also need to
Yeah,
talk
I
with her.
haven't- I'll tell you what.
Well,
I know,
business,
right,
mate.
James.
Full body.
Right, I've got an
I
idea.
cannot believe we're doing this.
Well,
This
then,
is mad.
right, bonus show stuff. How about we both kind of get our partners into the room and we ask them face to face live on the bonus
That's not
show?
a bad
Okay,
idea,
that sounds
actually.
good. That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
good.
fine,
Okay,
yeah.
right. Okay, but that's not for now.
No, should we get on
Are
with the real
we
show?
currently agreeing to the tattoo bet?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
James
I'll
has said
fuck it.
yes.
I'm very
Look,
confident anyway.
I've not
So
heard
it's-
a word. Matt,
It's a lot in it. It's a lot to. Can I think about it and come back?
no.
How big is it going to be?
We don't know.
Oh, no, you know what? It's fine. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right,
No one's
okay,
gonna see my
okay,
ass anyway.
Okay.
No one's gonna see my ass.
So we would determine things like size and stuff another time. But for now,
I'm just imagining Matt going to a sauna or something like that, and then somebody being like, "What the fuck's that?" Like,
No one's gonna
say-
see my ass. It's fine.
Can I just say, it's over the most stupid fucking bet ever. Like, it's what gets a better Metacritic score. It's mad. And
mention that to the tattooist.
We're talking professional score, right? Not customer one. We're talking professional score.
we're talking scores from reviewers, not from like audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Oh my god!
So-
I hope to God this
One of
game
you-
bangs.
One
It's
of
not
you
gonna-
is getting a tattoo.
I hope to God this game bangs so hard. James is like, oh shit, it's getting tense.
It's not going to happen.
Oh my god!
Made by the division
When's
people.
is the game out this year?
Made by Division people.
it's not
Game
this
out
year, is it?
No, I think it's a shit.
Oh, we've got such a build up to this. Wow. Okay.
Oh god!
Either Matt or James is getting a tattoo, and they get to choose. It's just the two of us, isn't it? It's that show. We're
that
gonna do it with
subtitle?
the glasses and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. This is.
But also,
this is-
when we do that as well, the other person's got to be there when it's being done. As
Yes,
well.
100%.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
100%.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Because
I
it takes
mean,
a long time to get a tattoo.
we'll get it done.
No,
at
no, because it's gonna be
TCGSCon.
microscopic, Sean. Don't worry about it.
We're getting done at TCGSCon.
We want to
front of
record
the
one of those
audience.
videos like Polygon did. You know, like
Oh my god! Yeah, I'll give you half the geese of this show.
We
Got
have to
on my
move on.
ass.
We've got so much to talk about this
I'm
week.
so
We're
sorry.
already 3/4 of an hour in. Who are you just saying that to? Your wife, Matt?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. She's just here.
Okay. News.
No, she doesn't give a
James
shit.
Farley.
Okay, so news.
Let's get a tattoo with that one.
I'm not. James will be.
No, it definitely won't be. Respawn are a lot better than whoever does the division. Anyway,
Yeah.
so first bit of news: Sega are not open to acquisitions. This is after all these speculation about Microsoft bidding for them. So
Didn't want to get bought anyway.
Yeah, that's basically what they said. So this
Next.
is the chief operating officer, Shuji Utsumi, has said. He said, "We are very close with Microsoft and have a great relationship with its management team. Microsoft particularly has a high regard for us. Xbox's Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond are really serious about values that video game fans emphasise." And then he said, "But we're not interested. Yeah, we're quite happy with Sammy at the moment. So it's yeah."
It's funny, isn't it? Like,
you Sammy?
Because there's this constant like, like what so like what if someone bought Sega? As if Sega aren't just happy just being smaller than they used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they've been in any
Yeah.
trouble for a long time, like financially. Like, they're doing fine, but there's this. It's like they're still being compared to like the Sega of the 1990s.
Right.
what I mean?
But I don't think Sega are happy that they're smaller than they used to be. No,
they're
no
lovely
company's
massive, aren't
happy
they?
that
I
they're
don't know.
smaller than
Just
they used to
this sort of constant sort of implication that like, oh well, someone will just buy them as if they're just like about to fucking keel over.
be.
Which
Right,
they're not,
but
yeah.
there is like, yeah, because we don't know how financially stable they are. We have got no idea, right? But there is part of me that always sees stories and comments like this and goes, "Oh, they want to be bought. They're talking about being buying, they're being bought, being buying."
They're talking about being bang.
Talking about being banged.
Why do you always do that in a northern accent? That it's
Sorry, I don't know.
But again, it's like every time, like I was saying with the Square Enix stuff, like why would Microsoft buy Sega? What gap does that fill in Microsoft's
Exactly, and then also
portfolio? Do you know what I mean?
And the other thing about that is that I just think, like, because usually when people say, "Oh, Microsoft's going to," that means they're gonna release new games, you know, that we haven't seen for ages, you know, like from Activision's back catalogue, etc. But Sega do that all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So like, who cares?
But they do it
You know?
badly.
Yeah, we need Burning Rangers, don't we?
Virtua On. I could do another one of those.
Yeah, Virtual On, Sega Rally,
Yeah.
all the biggies.
I'm still amazed that they haven't re-released the original Sega Rally with like new.
No,
like,
what
just
is wrong
nicer
with
graphics.
them?
Again,
Yeah,
we
'cause
play
there's
that.
no,
Whenever we
like-
play that, it's still really fun.
Yeah,
Oh, it's still
but there's
incredible.
no,
One of my
like,
all-time favourites in the
perfect-
arcade. Unbelievable.
There's no like perfect way to play it, is there? There's.
No,
I
you
remember
can't
Kane
play
released
it,
an
yeah.
episode about it, and there's like flaws with every version, basically.
Yeah. It's released a good
Sort
one.
it out.
Anyway,
Yes,
yeah, how's that
Sega.
turned into Sega? Us having a pop at Sega. Well done, Sega. You don't want to be
Yeah,
taken
they're,
over.
they're
Good for
quite
you.
happy to be in the current partnership.
Well, they
Anyway,
bought
but
Rovio, didn't they?
Yuki Naka has been given a suspended
yeah.
prison sentence and a 1.2 million pound,
Now
euro,
remind me.
dollar fine. There we go.
Suspend. That means he isn't actually going to prison. Right?
No.
No, so he's
Which
been
is what
given
we assumed anyway.
he's been given
So
2
it-
years and 6 months, and
What
these
that means
fines.
is that if he commits any other crime, if he gets found guilty of any other crime, then that becomes a custodial sentence.
yeah,
Right.
For that period of time, basically.
he's
So,
got 4 years. He's got to keep not doing insider trading for, and then
Also
Or anything
not
else.
releasing other games because
yes,
Banner on the World could get him in the nick, you know. not do that.
yeah, well, $1.2 million fine just shows quite how much money he was making out of this scheme. Like,
Actually, I was just
it's-
looking. So yeah, the two. So this is in one of the two ones where he acted alongside
There was a
someone
bunch
else.
of people,
The two
yeah.
men were said to have made quote hundreds of millions of yen, where 1 million of US dollars is 140 million yen. So that to me sounds like he's made millions of dollars, and he's only had to pay back 1.2.
and this is only the stuff that they know about. Like,
Yeah.
because there'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
tons of
yeah.
stuff that they don't know about.
Yeah,
You
and to
know,
forget, this isn't me being like, they should fucking get him for every fucking penny. It's just interesting. I just wonder how they work this stuff out, you know?
Yeah, it is when you put a number on it. I figured out about that with lawsuits as well. When they just go, I'm suing you for 400 million. Why? Damages? Right, really?
Reputational damage.
Yeah, it's it's crazy, but yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. Weird end to a very long and strange story that seemed to come out of absolutely nowhere.
The thing is, though, do you think we're never going to hear from him again now for like a long time,
Probably.
or is he going
Probably.
to try and launch something new?
No, probably if he's got
Surely
money
you'd
in the
just
bank,
fade away, but yeah,
he would just go away now and he'll live off his money because he will now be scrutinized for everything he does within business, and you know he won't be hired by many places because of the, you know, what's been associated with his name now. So he will probably
Well, yeah,
take
plus,
the
like-
many millions of dollars that he's got and go and live in a mansion somewhere for the rest of his life. So
Like if Balan Wonderworld had been an absolute banger, if you know, like well, you know, go away for 5 years, then probably come back. You know, like
See where
you know,
you're at.
investors would be keen. But yeah, as it currently stands,
Are you
maybe
thinking
maybe
Balan 2?
Yeah. Banner on the
no
World.
one's thinking Balan 2. No one's thinking Balan 2.
He is.
Yuji Naka's
Yeah,
not
you
even
can't
I was
thinking
thinking
Balan
actually
2,
getting
mate.
one.
He's dreaming about it.
I was thinking maybe get him on the show.
You could use the
Uh,
cash.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Okay. No need to
I
call
might
him
contact. I'll reach
out.
out.
Go on.
Okay, now this is very strange, this next story, because we were talking about this person quite recently, I think, and
Oh yeah, we manifested this.
he's resurfaced. So
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux is teasing a new project with an idea that he's saying has never been seen in a game before.
He's back. Our boy's back.
Can't believe he
Cannot,
said that.
cannot
He was-
help
Let's go.
himself.
Let me go through the quotes. So he
I
was
bet he
talking.
was sitting there for the whole interview saying, just don't say something fucking
Yeah,
weird.
don't
Don't
say-
say
don't
something
say-
fucking weird.
Yeah.
Step in sleep before the game. Fuck! Peter, what have you done?
So he was
Who's that?
talking with.
His assistant. Peter, what have we done?
No, it's him talking to himself because there was no assistant, there was no interviewer. He was just in Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park. That's all that was going on.
Peter, what have we done?
So he was speaking with Game Reactor, and he said, in days gone by, I would just start telling you about the whole game and the whole game design and why it was going to be the most brilliant game in the world. I'm not going to do that. And then it says what he did say, apparently, though, was he said that it's going to be more like Fable or Dungeon Keeper and Black and White and that kind of thing. And then he says they're also leading on PC and console.
None of those games are similar, other than the only thing that links them is when Peter Molyneux was good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about designing a game that's sort of, Grand Theft Auto, Dark Souls, it's got a bit of FIFA and Need for Speed in there.
And then his final thing, he said, this game is the first game, really, I've coded or been a coder on since Black and White.
I'd love it if it looked like an old ST game. You just go, Peter. Come on.
I mean, even that's interesting. Well, I suppose we've no idea what he's been up to. But if you're saying I haven't done any coding since fucking what
was it early 2000s?
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
We've sort of moved on since then.
I was going to say, surely most of what you know is now fairly irrelevant.
Yeah, Peter, we've got Unreal Engine now, Peter.
Yeah, you don't even need to type anything, mate. You
don't have to make it a notepad or Dreamweaver.
I mean, the other thing
being unfair.
The other thing with this, though, is that he did announce that he was working on something.
Peter.
He did announce that he was working on something in 2019 that was going to involve the blockchain. So it's curious to see if this is also going to be that.
I mean, surely not. Surely he's seen how that's all gone.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? I for one am glad that he's back.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Why?
It's just fun.
Because it's interesting.
It's fun. People get really angry. You're one of those people, James, that are really angry at him for the lies that he told.
I'm not angry. I think it's just what's the point? It's taking
because
oxygen
it's
away from.
Yeah,
I know, but then there's a lot of other games that are coming out that could do with having publicity and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but
that
it's
this
not one or
takes
the
away
other.
from.
No, I don't agree with that. They're not sitting there going, "Oh, actually, let's not talk about that game because Peter Molyneux's out and about." I don't think it's a one-for-one swap.
Well, no, it is. No, but it is though to a degree because these stories that I picked today, right? I picked this story and I picked it instead of another one potentially. So it's
Well, you should have picked the other one.
That's not true, though, is it, James?
Well, it's not true.
We all
It's
agreed
not
it's been a fucking dry couple of weeks.
Well, that is true.
James, right, for starters, firstly, you were just admitting to doing the thing that's wrong with video games journalism, right? That's literally what you just said. You just went, it's fucking outrageous that this happens. Like, for example, I did it. You know what I mean? Right? That's the first thing. The second thing, the moment Sean said, well, that's not true, you're lying, James, you went, no, I am lying, yeah. So,
no, but I'm talking conceptually. It's like, this is a problem.
What does that mean?
It means that something might happen, I don't know.
It means that James wants us to look away from the literal thing that's happening right now in front of us.
Look at this big words over here, big words over here, guys.
Molyneux coming out and talking all the usual old bollocks means that everyone gets attracted to whatever he's going to say.
Which
and it means that then there's but then that's what I'm saying. But then it's not. Then other stuff gets ignored. Other people that really would like to have stuff, promoted or whatever.
It's
of
not
course
one or the
it does.
It's not one or the other.
James, if you believe that...
What are you talking about? It's not one or the other. There's a fucking finite amount of time for things to be, promoted. It's not constant.
But this is front page news, right, on a lot of websites that Peter Molyneux's back.
Because it's Peter Molyneux.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, if Peter Molyneux didn't come out, they're not going, well, what about that indie game over there that could do with a bit of publicity?
Maybe they would
that
be.
on the front page.
What about Flibble Bobble too?
Not.
Maybe
they wouldn't have put Flibble Bobble on the front page.
No,
maybe they would.
No way. Flibble Bobble would not have gotten anywhere near this website.
Sean would have said to me, I would have come on the show and gone, do you know what, Flooble Bobble 2 is fucking brilliant. We would have given it its dues. And Sean would have said, I told you about that 2 years ago. And I said, well, John told me about it last week.
Yeah. And therefore...
It's a two-tick system.
Two-tick system.
Okay, James, you should have balanced this news out with the news of a new Flibble Bobble or another indie game.
Yeah. You've already changed the name of it,
Flibble
Matt.
Bobble
Unleashed. I said Flibble Bobble 2 and you said Flibble Bobble. It's called Flibble Bobble 2, mate. Get it right.
Okay, all right. That's enough. Anyway, I'm happy Peter Molyneux's back because it's nonsense. And
this is it.
He'll bumble about and make me laugh for a
bobble
year.
about.
Of course, he's easy to make fun of, but if he brought something out and it was genuinely new and interesting and good, of course we'd all be thrilled. So,
Yeah, I mean, like what we always,
It won't be though.
we always mention the fact that some of these like suits and executives are boring. Like this is someone with actual character. Yes, it's like a lot of bollocks, but like this is interesting.
No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say then.
Right.
No, what are you
Okay.
gonna say, James?
Playing devil's advocate. People are genuinely angry because they feel like he consistently missold products, right? And I get that. Like I understand that. The whole cube thing. We were at the speech where he was saying, "This is what the cube's going to be. This is what the cube's going to be," and it wasn't. We were there for the. Do you remember we went to his talk about Fable 3 and he come out of it and that was all bollocks as well, so I get it, like that people are angry at him, but sometimes you need villains in life, don't you? And I don't, I was thinking about it today, right? We're never going to get to interview him, but I would love
Gary
to
managed it.
Right, well, whatever.
We know Capone.
That's because no offense, Gary. I'm not saying like, well, if he did it, then we fucking.
Here's what I'd want. I'd want to sit down and interview him and not talk about any of the controversial shit because everyone's going to do that anyway. And I thought about what my first question would be. Right, I would say my first question would be, "Hi Peter, yeah, how you doing? What are your WhatsApp groups like? Like, what groups are you in and who's in them? Is there a group of old 90s developers sitting there going, have you played this Tears of the Kingdom? The fucking depths. What were they thinking?" And then one of them going, "Oh, it's really good."
They've got taste.
No. They'll be fuming about it. Like, no, I would genuinely. I'm not fucking about. I want to know what his WhatsApp groups are like.
It's not as good as Marble Madness on the Mega Drive. That was a good point.
Do you put them on mute? What do you think of Jeff Keighley? Have you tried to call Jeff Keighley?
Have you heard of him?
Have you heard of him?
No, he is.
Have you tried to get in contact with Jeff Keighley at some point to get on Summer's Games Fest or whatever?
David, if you want on the show, I will move heaven and earth to get him on the show. If you want on the show,
let's do it. Have you got a Steam Deck? What do you think of that? Do you know what I mean? That's the stuff that I want to know.
Way better. The headlines from that would be brilliant.
Have you got an electric car? I want to know because he's either going to be one of those people that's like, yeah, no, I've had electric cars for years, or he's going to be angry at the idea of owning an electric car and will get his phone out and show me videos of the car batteries blowing up in factories. Look, that's how dangerous they are. I want you to drive around in them. I've met those people, Sean. I've met those people. I just want to
imagine asking him like how he thinks, like how would his career have gone if Twitter had existed throughout? And he was on
very
Twitter.
Good question, but again, that's getting close to the controversial stuff.
True, yeah.
I would like to say,
been? Yeah.
What's your favourite, Nando's or Wagamama's?
Yeah, like do you watch Love Island? They're the
questions I want to. Have you watched Love Island? What did you think of Elemental?
Yeah,
was it as terrible as I thought it was?
Like, what order are you going to see Oppenheimer and Barbie in, and why? That's the shit I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know everything, mate. I want to know everything.
Let's get him on. I'll reach out to his people.
Okay. Good luck, Matt. I'm up for that. Banjo-Kazooie, is it, James, next?
Yeah, so apparently the Banjo-Kazooie, the people that are left over at Rare that were connected to that are unsure that there is an audience there for a new game.
Unsure?
Yeah, so the composer Grant Kirkhope says, I feel like you'd have to get a team with the humour that we had back then, and that's hard to replicate. I think Rare would be open to somebody if they found the right team, but I don't feel like that team exists. Also, I'm not convinced the audience is there either. I don't feel like there are that many Banjo fans out there. He says the whole Smash Brothers thing was spectacular. It really was. I think all the team that worked on that game had a tear in their eye when Banjo turned up in Smash Brothers. It was just an unbelievable release of emotion. Seeing all those fans crying on those videos was heartwarming, and we all felt it. That was a once-in-a-lifetime event.
But
when
fuck
that happened.
Is that what you're saying?
Then he says, "But I still
all those
feel
fans
like."
crying videos was heartwarming, but there were only 3 of them.
Yeah.
So
Then he says, "But I still feel like, is there a multi-million-dollar thing within Banjo-Kazooie?" And I'm not convinced there is.
Yeah, I would. It's not. It wouldn't be massive. No. But the idea is that it's exactly the sort of game Microsoft should be aiming at right now. Well, then, in my opinion.
See, the character designer, Stephen Mayles, has argued that what should happen is that there should be like a modern remaster of the game. And he said, I've said before, that would be the way to do it, because obviously it takes so much money to create a brand new top-end game that the sensible thing to do would be some kind of remaster to test the water and see if the audience is there.
Yeah, that's the sensible way of doing it, for sure.
No,
remaster, if people are pumped for it,
absolutely disagree. We can already play that. We've already got a version of Banjo-Kazooie on pretty much everyone's Xbox. Like, everyone owns it. Like, it's all on. You look at your game library, you'll have Banjo-Kazooie on there.
Yeah, but it doesn't look great, does it?
No, it doesn't look great. No, it doesn't. And the problem is, you go and play it now, and you see how small those levels are. You're thinking, yeah, a fancier version of this is not going to go down that well.
No, the best thing I could do is remaster it. So bring the old fans back, maybe get new fans if they say, look, this is genuinely a classic, and maybe add like a new level or two, a bit like Area X, with Res. Like, okay, so people, oh shit, this is exciting. Maybe it's the best level of the game. This could maybe show like where they could go forward. I reckon that'd be a good combination of both getting the old fans and maybe exciting new fans.
No, I think Microsoft, along with releasing big titles or whatever, Microsoft Studios need to look at releasing smaller titles and get 3 or 4 of them out a year rather than aiming, shooting for the stars.
Well, that's what they've been trying to do.
Release a Banjo-Kazooie, but it does not need to look like the best looking game on the face of. What's the best game we've played in this era of Microsoft's Game Pass Studio stuff?
Pentiment.
Would you say? Probably Psychonauts 2, right?
I'd say Pentiment.
Okay, Pentiment or whatever. But they're not the big scale, like, they're not Halo. They're not Redfall. They're not
Forza.
Forza's amazing, right? Like, it's amazing. It's like one of my favorite games for sure. But it's Forza. We're used to playing Forza. Whereas if you're saying we're bringing out a Banjo-Kazooie, what's that fucking game with Perfect Dark, a couple of names that will get older fans excited. But they don't have to be big. They could be 4 to 5 hours long. They don't have to look absolutely incredible. They've just got to be fun to play. They've just got to be fun to play.
But that's the problem, because they tried this already. Like, if you think like Battletoads, for example, they re-released a new game of that.
When they announced Battletoads, everyone went, Battletoads fucking shit. If they announced the
that
Banjo-Kazooie
was the headline on VGC.
That's going to be different, isn't it? That is going to be different. We laughed when they announced Battletoads, James.
Well, I know we did, obviously, but it's like, I mean, they, as people in the chat have also said, you got like Crackdown 3, they did the same thing. It was like
I enjoyed that game.
But again, I thought they shot for you enjoyed Crackdown 3.
Yes. Yeah.
It was all right.
It was
but
fine.
All the stuff that they said they were doing was put into the multiplayer that nobody played. So
single player.
You see, I wouldn't mind. You see, if they did like what you're saying, like a Banjo-Kazooie of the scale of something like Hi-Fi Rush, that would be maybe interesting. If you did something.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It does not need to be a high-end AAA. I don't know, man.
There's that anxiety that if you are going to resurrect a franchise that, okay, its popularity may have waned over the years, but certainly was huge at one point. They clearly feel there's this expectation that it has to be something big, but as you say, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah.
Like 3D platformers aren't really a thing anyway at the moment, really. Like on Nintendo platforms,
that's why
yes.
But because there's one thing we saw in the Psychonauts 2 documentary is actually it was fucking nightmare hiring any staff who've done 3D platformers because they're just
But you look at Tinykin, and how good that game was, and you just think it's possible. You look at obviously completely different levels of class here, but you look at the likes of Mario Odyssey, and you think 3D platforming, it's not dead. It's just quiet.
It's just living on Nintendo platforms, like most of them.
Well, no, Tinykin was. I mean, I think that was.
And
on,
then Astrobot
as well. Astrobot, another absolute banger of a game. That was a free fucking. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. If you want to test something, don't
Bowser's
do it with a
Fury
remake
was like a bit of a test. I thought that was great. Yeah, that felt smaller scale as well.
Don't do it as an old game remade with better graphics, because those games will not hold up because of the size of the levels. Let's get something condensed, something new, and it doesn't have to be the most, the best looking game you've ever seen. Just make it fun. And to say, oh no, the comedy at the time was, it was of the time, but comedy's evolved, and you're telling me that you can't write a funny game, because you can. I played funny games recently, so I don't know. FIFA hilarious football game that is.
Great banter.
That's one of them. I don't know. I think that's really disappointing to read, to be honest with you. But there you go.
That's it. I've got nothing else for today.
Good. Let's get to what you've been playing. Let's start with Matt, because you weren't on for 3 weeks or whatever.
No, I've basically gone back to a little known game called Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I'm not going to say too much about it. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of ready for the game to end. The things all I kind of got at the moment is negativity about the game, which I know is probably not fair about the game.
You know, I've got similar feelings, Matt, because I've been gone back to it and I've got problems as well, actually. But,
so I'm like 95 hours in now. I still feel like I barely touched it in the grand scheme of things. I've done loads of bits, but the things I need to do are things that kind of
holy fuck.
Holy fuck! I just can't be bothered to do. There's some boss battles I've got. Like, I mean, how much can
Boss
I say?
battles?
What do you mean some boss battles? Wait.
So I'm in the. Oh fuck it! I'm in the Deku tree. Right.
Okay.
There's a boss battle there. I've got to do. I can't be bothered with all like the gloom.
Not really a boss battle, man.
Well, there is a boss battle at the bottom, and
It's
I've got.
also, I haven't
that.
been
It's not a boss
there.
battle.
I haven't been there. I didn't know that was in the game.
Okay. I assume I had to do that.
It's the hands, Dave.
The hands.
Well,
the
hands.
hands.
The hands are the
those
easy
things are
bit.
fucking well annoying.
Anyway,
And then there's a thing that comes after. But that's standard. That's what happens when you defeat the hands, and then there's a bit after.
yeah, but I
I
also
didn't know that was in the game.
Yeah. I also went to another location where it's the same kind of bosses. I'm like, I don't know if I've got.
They
the
do
energy.
repeat. They do repeat some of the bigger enemies quite often.
I mean, I basically went to the castle. I thought, okay, this is key, like a signal. The next part of the game, potentially the last segment of the game. I was like, oh, I just can't be bothered with all the bloody gan. I just can't be bothered with it. I just cannot be. The thing is, I'm doing all the other bits like the busy work, which I'm enjoying. I've visited all the temples. I visited all the obviously all the towers, but I've now done all the stables. I've done.
Have you done the tiers?
I've done the tiers. I've done the fairies.
That final cutscene you didn't give a shit about.
No. I think the tiers were easily the best bit. Like, finally we've got some story. Because I did all the temples first, and then I did the tiers, and I'm like, okay, great. This is where the story is. This is awesome. But because I've done all temples, then all tiers, it was like nothing, then everything. Maybe it should have signposted me.
It's sort of. Yeah, it's like it expects you to dip into, like, right, I'll do a temple, then I'll do a few tiers, then I'll explore a bit, then I'll do a bit of the depths, then I'll do a temple, and it expects you to sort of rotate. Whereas, that wasn't my experience.
I think they screwed up the direction, like that they because I don't think most people played it like that. I think people pick a task and stick to it, and then move on to another task, and it's not the game's not really built to account for that.
Because I left the tiers for ages and ages and ages, which meant that when I did get around to doing them, it was trivial. But I was fine with that because I was ready to move towards like the end game. So in a sense, like I said before, I think it sort of works because no matter what you've done, it makes the next thing you do quicker, right? Because you're always getting stronger, learning how to use the Zone Eye stuff more. So it's. But it clearly, you can tell that it expects you to do things in a certain way, and most people won't. I don't think.
No, but I think that is a minor. I mean, honestly, Matt, what works towards the end then? If you're
that's
the best thing I did. That's the best thing I did. I got to the four temples. I went and did a load of stuff, and went. Do you know what? I'm actually I'm done. I know there's loads of stuff that I haven't done. But I'm sort of done with all that stuff, so I'm going to go and do it. So and then you finish it and you go, yeah, that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, so I did loads of other stuff. I'm like, okay, I want to see the next part of the game. I went to the castle. There's a big boss battle there. And I'm like, I just can't be fucking bothered with all these Ganons and whatever. I need to do it, I guess. But I can't. I actually need to go. I need to do those shrines because I got only like 7 hearts. I need to do those elixirs. Yeah, I basically need
95 hours.
Yeah,
what I've done is I found loads of shrines and but not actually completed them. I found them on the map. Brilliant, move on.
95 hours.
I've just done a lot of exploring and we're looking around. I love being part of that world, but it's like now I actually need to do the game. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna have to basically spend a week.
Going up to shrines and going, yep, there's one, and then moving away.
Yeah, but because I use that for like a fast travel thing, So
But you didn't
I
think about
did
going in
that,
and doing
like,
the shrine.
I would sometimes save some shrines for like sometimes.
yeah, I'm
no one
basically
would have,
shaving
like,
for a
a
moment. I'm
shrine
like, okay,
session, you know?
tonight's a shrine night, and I've
Yeah.
got loads on the map. Yeah, I've done that. I've upgraded all. Yeah, I've upgraded. The pure pad as much as I can with all the various aspects you get. I've been to depths. I've been on the flying things. I've done loads of stuff. I'm like, okay, it's just
flying
time. It's just time to get these stupid bosses done. I just haven't
Well,
bothered
do
because
them then. They're
I
fine.
know
They're
because
easy.
I got to try it. I could die. And I'm like, fuck the glue. Fuck
No,
the
no,
glue.
no. Well, for starters, you should have done the fucking shrines. That's insane, right? I mean,
well,
but
okay.
secondly,
I've done
secondly,
like 25 shrines, but clearly
all
not
I'll
enough.
say, the final bosses look way more intimidating than they are. They're actually really easy. The stuff in the castle is actually really easy. Once you get the attack pattern down, and it doesn't do that thing where it's like, and now they've got 50 more attacks. Like, it doesn't do that. So
Yeah, I made the
once you know
mistake-
it to start with.
I made a mistake of having using
trust.
two-handed weapons, and okay, two-handed weapons. No, I need to get sword, I need to get shield. No, you need to press something else to get the shield back because I like two-handed. I'm much better with just a one-handed weapon because I
I
can
was going to
one-handed
say
weapon.
weapons. So I mean the like spears and stuff, tridents, whatever.
Yeah, it
super
fucked
powerful
me
at
up too
least,
much.
But the
Twos are not too bad. All you got to do is hit Y and then you switch to your shield. It's once I work that out, they're actually really good.
Yeah, they were quite slow. Anyway, I just need. I on the weekend it's quite frustrating. I did loads of stuff. Again, stables, fairies, loads of other bits. The band, I did all that, brilliant. But I'm just like, okay, I just need to actually just get this gloom boss bollocks done.
And you're not feeling it either, James. How close are you to the end?
See, I've played for about 40 hours, but I don't feel like I've done anything. And I think part of that is I have done things.
How many hearts
because
you got?
I've got, I don't know, maybe 12 or something like that. I'm not sure. 'Cause
Show off.
I can't remember. It's like it hasn't gone onto the second row yet, but it's close to that. It's
okay.
you know.
Oh, okay.
But
I haven't bothered doing that. I just thought, okay, see a shrine, brilliant, done. On
I
the
mean,
map,
I've been doing
move
the
on.
shrines as I come across them because why wouldn't you? Because they're brilliant. Like,
Well, yeah, I just thought I'll save him
It
for the
is the
time
best
I'm
bit
really
of
in
the
the
game.
mood.
But see, I did
shrine
I
night.
did like the four, the
Temple.
regional disturbances thing. I did that.
Yeah.
And then
Regional
I've just
phenomena.
kind of got to the stage where I'm just like, I don't know what to do next now, really.
Whatever
Yeah,
you
and
want,
I just
it doesn't
feel
matter.
I know, but that's the problem. It's like the map is gigantic, like it's huge.
It's
I went
not.
down in the depths today, and I
we
spent
go.
probably about an hour down there. It's really boring, isn't it, down there?
Oh,
Oh,
don't slag
fuck
off.
off.
Don't slag off
It
Sean like
is.
that.
It is shit. It is
Sean
shit.
can
not
hear you,
Shit.
It's
For
not
some
really
reason,
not
I
shit.
am.
It's
I've been
fascinating.
obsessed because I've been playing it the past couple of weeks, but just opening up the map.
How many hearts you got, mate? How many hearts you got? Probably
More
7.
than fucking 7. Well, you need 10.
But
to
I'm pretty
finish the
sure
game.
you'd have more than
What do you
7
mean you
just
need
from
10?
doing the necessary bosses, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Matt's
Right,
lying.
okay. I know we don't do this, but I'm going to have to call it in the chat. Scientologist, I didn't think it was possible to play this game wrong, but maybe Matt has discovered a way to do so. Fuck off, Ben, for a start.
Ben's,
No,
I'm
I'm just
gonna
like,
have to. No, I'm gonna have to take Ben's side.
I've
Don't
just,
look
I've
at
just,
a shrine
I've
and go,
been
"There we go, I've done
enjoying
it."
the environment. I've been exploring. I've been like, that's not wrong.
But
What's wrong with that?
I'm just feeling overwhelmed by it, honestly, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I just think there's just
Play
so
it
much stuff to
and
do,
enjoy it.
and it's just yeah. I don't
All
know,
right,
it's
can we
weird.
stop talking about it though? Because we've
Yeah.
been about 90 hours.
I feel like we're becoming that's the podcast where they keep slagging off fucking Tears of the Kingdom.
I loved it, Sean.
I know.
I loved it.
Me too.
We're me and you, buddy.
Thing is, on the,
Forget these
I have
two.
loved
The
it. I
depths
wouldn't put
is
95
shit,
hours
but
in the
other
game I
than
don't love, but just
Okay,
need to.
Matt.
Is this just is everyone just thinking, oh well, we don't want it to run away with the game of the year, so let's just
I think that's
balance
part
it
of it.
Yeah, this
think
is
that's
strategy,
part of
mate.
I've been playing 2 games this week. One of them is PowerWash Simulator. That's right.
Oh yeah.
I've been playing the I've been playing the SpongeBob SquarePants DLC,
Oh,
which I
nice.
purchased.
What's it like?
Good.
I mean, I don't care for SpongeBob. I'm not.
Didn't
like a
you?
SpongeBob
Oh,
fan. No, it's
yeah.
after my
Elodie
time,
loved it,
and
and I really got into it. Yeah, I love SpongeBob.
I wasn't part of the SpongeBob crew.
That's what we call
but,
ourselves.
But I'll watch anything, and that's what I'm interested in, really. I'd love to know what deals went down, who's paying who, and who's benefiting from any of these licenses. Because I can't imagine a SpongeBob SquarePants fan going, "Well, I'm going to buy. I've got to buy PowerWash Simulator.
No,
And
it does make sense. It makes sense to me because it's
Come on.
the people that are playing PowerWash Simulator are people
Yeah.
like you, David,
Yeah.
and people like you have kids, and it's
Right.
like that makes
They're
sense to
gonna
me.
buy it regardless.
Is
I
it?
would. Yeah, they're bringing out a Warhammer one. I'm gonna buy that because I want to wash shit. Like I don't care what it is. I'm not I'm not a SpongeBob fan. I'm just gonna wash it. So I bought it and I washed it, and that was it. And I'm like, that was
and I
great.
watched it.
Well, it's got some really good ideas. My favourite one, and sorry, spoilers for any Power Wash Simulator fans out there. My favourite one was an invisible boat. So as you cleaned it, it sort of disappeared. So you have to try and remember the boat and try and find the little bits of dirt that's like just like floating in the air and cleaning that. That was pretty cool. But yeah, you did the Krabby Place or whatever it's called, and you
Krabby
did
Patties.
SpongeBob's house and everything. And you did like this bit where it was just had loads of bits from the film from the TV shows or whatever. And I cleaned it and I went, yeah, that was good. That was good. I'll play that again if if they could. But my point is the licenses. I don't know what they add to it. I don't know what the thing is.
But that's sort of why it's fascinating, though, right? Because to me, like played a bit of PowerWash Sim and like I thought it was fine, but I didn't want to get hopelessly addicted to it, so I just kind of binned it quite early on. This sort of stuff makes me want to go back because it makes me feel like the people making the game have got a bit of a sense of humor and they kind of get how
100%.
inherently ridiculous it is. Like,
they know what they're doing.
Let's do SpongeBob, let's do Warhammer, let's do Final Fantasy VII. But like, I find that really interesting. That it's just that it's the breadth of the stuff, like the licenses they're getting, that just makes it in like I don't know. It speaks to the game and the developers not taking it totally seriously, right?
That's the only side of it that I understand.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, they've created this game. It's done really well, and they've thought, let's have some fucking fun. Wouldn't it be wicked to do a SpongeBob one? Let's do it. But I want to know how the money exchanges like hands. Like, I'm assuming that PowerWash pay for a license to use SpongeBob in their game, right? But then my point
or they
is
just
they
split
must
royalties. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's it though, isn't it? So what's Nickelodeon getting out of it?
Well, no. Nickelodeon will probably get a percentage of everything sold. Yeah.
I guess it's a weird situation. I mean,
like
if
say, but then
anyone
who
knows,
makes the first phone call?
Yeah, who's making the first? I'm assuming PowerWash made the first phone call.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. I can't imagine Nickelodeon ringing up PowerWash devs going, "Hey, how about SpongeBob?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, what if it does really well, and then Nickelodeon ring them up and say Rugrats, and then PowerWash go, no, you're right. Actually, no, we're doing something else. It's The Simpsons, isn't it? Yeah, it's The Simpsons. The Simpsons.
Yep. That'd do all right, wouldn't it?
You definitely would. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, they could wash Bart's shorts.
You could.
He says,
"You're supposed to eat them."
Yeah, wash my shorts.
I don't think you're supposed to eat them. It's just a taunt.
There's another one. So that was PowerWash Simulator. I think it took me about 15 hours to do, and I loved every fucking second of it. My eyes were watering.
Have you bought and played every DLC they've released so far?
So all the other DLC's been free. This is or at least free if you've got it on Game Pass or whatever.
Okay.
Right.
How much was this?
This one, £6, I think. £6.
Yeah, that's a great price because that isn't too much.
It's the right
Lots
price.
of people will buy it. They've sold millions anyway in the main game, so. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I just want them to do, and they've released a roadmap as well, so they are bringing out a lot of content for this.
Have they announced what the future licenses or DLCs are coming up?
The only one we know at the moment is Warhammer. TCGS will do one if you want.
I mean, but this thing.
James.
What would you watch? Us?
James, yeah. Watch James.
James is cock and ball.
Would you be like life size? Or be like huge and nude?
It'd be huge nude
there's so
with
many
a blind
things,
hanging off the wall. Go on.
I mean, got Star Wars. Do the main
all
of that shit
and stuff.
Like they should absolutely
Marvel
have Barbie's the Barbie mobile, Barbie car. Like the film's come out soon. Perfect license. Perfect.
Yeah.
They can voice out forever. Basically,
it would be interesting to see how long. Yeah, but how long is it going to go for? Like that's what I'm saying. There must be a tale to these things where people slowly fed up with playing PowerWash.
100%. Yeah,
the licenses are not bringing people to that game. I can't imagine they're bringing a big audience to that game.
I mean, it means they're being part of the conversation. Like
that's a good point. Yeah, so that you're going, oh, look at what they're doing now.
Yeah,
and people
I guess
go, oh
like,
yeah, PowerWash Sim that. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
That's the
if
only
they
thing
did a
I can
Barbie
think of.
DLC, that would like perfect. Like people think, well, no Barbie fans go, oh yeah, I'll get PowerWash. No, like because then Barbie will retweet it and then we're part of the conversation. That's what they need to be doing.
Yeah. Okay. So that was that.
Oh, if they did a Hot Wheels one, fucking hell!
Cleaning the Hot Wheels.
And Hot
there's
Wheels
so
are really
many-
tiny,
there's
aren't
so
they?
many
So
Yeah, but they'd be
there's
big
so
in
many
the
you could do.
game.
Yeah, you'd
Make
be
them
little.
big. That's the thing with
Yeah,
games.
you'd
You
be
make
little.
things any size you want.
can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scale
I
it.
should mention that.
use
Sorry.
scaling.
You click with the mouse.
I need to
and
mention. I need to talk to people at work about
it
that.
gets big.
But
Can
they
get
really
size you
asked-
want, boys.
They really asked the marketing guy how to.
Yeah. No, they don't. Actually.
It's like the physio going in and telling the manager what formation to play. What was that noise?
Little moan.
The other game that I've been playing this week. Have you ever turned a game on and within 10 minutes gone, oh no, oh
That's every
no,
game.
Yeah.
no, this is me now, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is me. I'm done. This is the end of me now for a while. That happened to me this week with a little game called Arcade Paradise. It came out last year on PC. Doesn't really count. I'm counting it from now. Just to let you know, I'm counting it from now. It launched on console this week or last week, and it launched straight to Game Pass. And it's taken over my life a little
Oh
bit.
yes, well yeah. So I think Jeff Gerstmann mentioned this loads on either his podcast or maybe Giant
Really?
Bomb at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this? No, sorry, go on.
Arcade Paradise is a times management game. The story behind it is your dad is away and he's allowing you to take over the laundry shop that he owns. And it's like, right, you're out of college now, you need to earn a living. You're going to be the manager of the laundry mat. Is that what they call it? What do they call it? The
Laundromat?
laundromat. Laundromat. Honestly, it did show me how British I was because they've never really been a thing over here in our lifetime, right? I mean, they've been a thing over here, but not in our lifetime.
But yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah. So like walking in, I don't know what I was doing and where the money was supposed to be going and how it all works. But anyway, you've just come out. You've come out with you've been studying business at college, right? You go into the laundromat. And you start working by taking people's clothes, washing them. You take them out of the washer after a certain amount of time. You put them in the dryer. You take them out of the dryer and you put them to the side and you earn money. You can also earn money by cleaning the place, fixing things like the toilet, and collecting the money from the little token machine that's in the laundromat. Out the back, though, there's 2 arcade machines. And within no time, you discover that they make quite a bit of money, and you message your dad and say, look, these arcade machines are doing all right. I'm thinking about getting more arcade machines. And he's like, no, you're not doing that. It's not good for the local community. If anything, we're getting more washers. We're getting more washers in, son. And your sister is on another chat telling you, just don't worry about it. Just go ahead and do it. Just keep everything out the back. So what you're doing, essentially, it's timed. 1 minute is 1 second is 1 minute in the game. You've got a start to the day. You've got an end to the day. If you work too late, you collapse, and that I think you pay for that.
Real life,
I've not got to that point. You're working all the way through the week. You turn up, and you tend to go. Here's my average day. I walk in there. I go, right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the washing on, because I've got three minutes then to go and do other stuff. Put the washing on. Then I go and I tidy up the place. Put everything. Put it all in bags, and then put it in the trash outside the store. Then I go and collect the money from all the various arcade machines and all other bits and pieces like that. Put that in the safe. Bank that. Yeah, because you can then go on your computer and order new arcade machines, or more importantly, you can do some construction work to the back of the shop and expand your arcade. And it's a weird mix of this mundane job of picking up like dirty clothes and washing them, and then going out the back and maybe playing an arcade game to let the time go away.
I was
all
going
the
to say, 'cause
arcade.
this is the one where you can actually play the arcade games, right?
You can play all of the arcade games. And what's up, James? What are you laughing for?
It's no reason. Go on, just enjoying it. Go on.
What's his problem? What's your problem tonight?
What? It's nothing's going on.
What are you laughing at?
Matt sent me a message and it just made me laugh.
What has he said? What has he said?
No, he just said, "No wonder you can't hear the movie." It was a callback to earlier in the show, and it just made me laugh.
Okay.
Good that. Good stuff. Good radio.
Right. So you split your time basically between doing your job, doing various tasks around the shop, and then playing the games. And the games are legitimately pretty good. It's set in like the mid-90s, maybe, is the sort of feeling I get. I mean, you got the internet. Now, I think it plays with time a little bit, but there are various different arcade machines, and they parody different. Some of them have a twist. Like there's a Pac-Man style game, but it's also mixed with Grand Theft Auto. So instead of Pac-Man, you're driving a car away from the police, and then you turn into a tank when you get the power up. And if you get caught, you're an actual person running around, and you've got to run away from the police and find a new car to jump in. So it's got some nice twists on classic arcade ideas, and the amount of times I've been in the middle of an arcade game and really enjoying it, and then my Casio watch beeps and it says, "Oh, you got to get that out the dryer," and you're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So you have to turn the arcade off, go into the shop and sort all that stuff out. The feelings I get from it, I don't know what it is. I cannot stop playing it. I can't stop playing it. It does feel a lot like PowerWash Simulator, where you're thinking, if I keep doing this thing, then I can buy the bigger thing and it's better. Do you know what I mean?
Does it have an end? Are you going for a campaign of sorts, or
if it's got an end, right? I assume it's got an end. It must have like a floor it's got to have a ceiling to it, right? Because there's
and a floor.
And a floor. But the amount of upgrades that are available, it looks like I'm a long way off from ever seeing that. Like I'm way off from seeing how big this thing can go, because you can hire staff. You can buy just stuff to make your job easier. Like staff can empty the machines for you and put it straight in the safe. So you're thinking, well, that's one less thing that I need to do. I've just bought a run upgrade. The new trainers, they call that. So you put your new trainers on, and now you can run places, which is actually a big help. I've also bought a bigger, stronger bin bags. So now I can collect more stuff before I have to go and empty it in the trash. And it's all that stuff. It's micro progression. Using very familiar, very basic tasks, and I fucking love it. It's funny. It looks nice enough. It's doing some weird stuff that makes me think there's something behind this. There's something's going to be revealed at some point. I think. I don't think it's going to take a wild turn into like a horror game or something.
I was going to say, do you think it's got a dark side?
Well, if you see a customer in your shop, because you do see customers, and you walk up to them, they start to pixelate and then they disappear. And all of your tasks are arcadified. So like if you're putting a bin bag in the trash, it's like a time thing, and then you throw it in and it says congratulations, all that sort of stuff. Or if you're fixing the toilet, it says you defeated the toilet and all that sort of shit. So I think something's going on. But
is it going to turn out you're in the arcade?
Oh my god!
Maybe you are the arcade
game about running a.
Yeah, it's going to zoom out at the end, and I'm in the
just
game.
Just be a picture. It says, "Please plug in a camera for the full effect of what's about to happen, please." I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think you'll know whether you'll like this or not just by what I'm saying. There's people out there that will go, "This is really dull. What the fuck are you doing?" But I know my mate Jay is going to be texting me about this in 3 days' time, going, my life is over now because I'm doing this." And it's the game I fear the most that Joe sees me playing, because she'll just go, "Right, so first of all, you were power washing things, and now you're just doing the washing.
Now you're running laundrette.
Now you're just washing clothes, are you? Brilliant. Thanks, Dave."
It's a fantasy, isn't it? Yeah, it's an escapism.
Are you going to play it then, Sean?
Oh, 100%. Because it sounds
I can't wait for you to play it.
A lot like my main one this week. but I don't want
I
to.
sort of I sort of want to stream it, but I think I should have streamed it from the start. Maybe I can do a couple of days on it and just so you can see how I'm getting on halfway through.
48 hours?
What? Yeah, like
48...
2 days.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
No, not in real time, Matt.
Oh, okay. Fine.
He's such a wise ass. He's such a wise ass.
Cracking wise ass.
Sean, what's the game that it reminds you of then that you've been playing?
I've been playing Dave the Diver.
I've heard lots of people talk about this, but I haven't actually looked into what it is.
That's what they call me on the football pitch, mate.
It's very
Is this
good.
a new hotness? So I've seen a bunch of people mention Dave the Diver, but I haven't actually looked into what it is.
It's been in early access for a while. I think I bought it like a few months ago.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool. But I didn't actually play it until it hit 1.0, which it did the other week. And yeah, it's this basically this game where you play as Dave, and the idea is you're the manager of a sushi restaurant, right?
Strong name.
It's a very good name, and very biblical. You're the manager of a sushi restaurant, and basically the idea is every night the sushi restaurant opens up, and you're in charge of getting the fish for the sushi restaurant, right? So during the day, you have like 2 sort of day slots where you can go for a dive, you go and jump in the sea, and you're going around, you're catching fish, and then in the evening, you're managing the restaurant based off what you've caught, figuring out what goes on the menu every night, sorting out staff, stuff like that. And then there's like a sort of calling it a mini game is probably harsh, but like people are coming in the restaurant, you got to serve them drinks, and so that's like a little mini game where you got like tip that you like pouring like a green tea or whatever, right? You're pouring it, and you've got to like make sure it hits like the right level in the cup. Later on, you start pulling pints instead. But then also, so you're like running back into the kitchen, serving people their dinner, and then also like there's like a wasabi meter, right? So as you're serving people, every dish uses wasabi, and then every so often like fuck, we're out of wasabi. You got to go and grind some more wasabi for the kitchen. So all that stuff like that, and then it's the following morning. It's like right back in the sea again. But it's one of those where there's always like enough of like there's so many systems involved, and they're all very slight, but it adds up, right, to something really interesting and engaging. And you can sort of there will be days where it's like, well, I can't be asked catching any fish today, I just want to do the next day of running the restaurant, right? And you can just skip forwards. And so sometimes there'll be times like that, but then other times there'll be like, right, there's like a tuna event in 3 days, right? There's like, there's going to be this yacht is going to turn up, and they've been told there's this like tuna themed night at the restaurant. So right, you gotta go, like you gotta spend the next few days catching a shitload of tuna, right? And then working, like putting together a menu for that. So you're given these little objectives where it's like, right, in a few days this is what you're gonna need shitloads of in stock. But then there's other sort of side quests where there's this like sort of ancient race of like undersea people, right? And there's like a whole quest line that sort of involves like uncovering what their whole deal is and like researching them and finding secrets and stuff in the ocean. And it's like, and the way you catch the fish is really interesting because you have guns, right? You can shoot the fish, and you have a knife, but then you can find like other weapons, right?
Could you imagine that in Bob Mortimer and what's his face go fishing? Start getting out a Glock.
Yeah. Well, this is what's interesting is, so basically when you catch the fish, they can be of like basically like 1, 2, or 3 star grade, right? So basically, if you like hack up a fish with your knife or you shoot it or whatever, and then you just pick it up, it's gonna be 1 star, right? You also have a harpoon. If you shoot it with your harpoon and you catch it, it'll be 2 stars, but it has to be like damaged enough for you to be able to catch it with a harpoon, right? So sometimes you have to attack it a bit first, then harpoon it, unless it's a small fish, and then you can just harpoon it straight away. Ideally, like there are like weapons and traps and stuff that will either trap the fish in a net or put them to sleep, in which case they'll be 3 stars, right? Because they're totally uninterfered with. And then you get more ingredients out of them, so you can serve more people with them and stuff. So it's just more efficient to try and aim for the 3 stars, but it's not always possible. But it's just something you have to weigh up like as you go around, because obviously you start off with like small fish, and then there are slightly bigger ones, and then there are sharks and shit, and it's absolutely terrifying. But it's just endlessly compelling, because you're constantly doing this back and forth between catching fish, back in the restaurant, serving the fish, back in the sea, catching more fish, and as you get loads of fish of ones that would normally be cheap to serve, you can use the excess fish to it never really explains how this works, but you enhance the dishes, right? So you've got a level 1, it's a bit of fucking clownfish or whatever, right? Sells for £5. If you got 30 of them, you can essentially spend the excess ones to level up that dish. So just catching shitloads of small fish still sort of pays off.
Well, that's great, isn't it? You'd love a bit more fish with whatever it is. You just keep cracking it on there. It's going to make it better, isn't it?
I think the assumption is that the chef is just going right, I'm just going to practice on a shitload of these fish, right? But yeah, you also manage your staff in the restaurant, and they get really silly. You start out with normal people that you hire, and then now that I'm at a level where I'm right, put a job ad on the internet, and now if you come to my restaurant, you'll be served by a Velociraptor and Jason Voorhees. Doesn't take itself very seriously. It's just really fucking compelling. I do as I often do with games like this, I'm worried I'm just going to hit a wall where it's actually I'm sort of done with this. I don't really know where it's going long term. It is just making the numbers go up. It's getting more valuable, more interesting, more difficult to catch fish. Buying better equipment so I can dive deeper and for a longer amount of time. Getting better guns, more interesting equipment. Trying to catch more fish alive rather than just shooting the fuck out of them.
I think it always hurts when you can see the trick a little bit, right? With progression games like this, and it's exactly the same with Arcade Paradise, where you're going, I'm earning more money, but the stuff I need is more expensive. So really, the carrot on the end of the stick is not getting any closer at all.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. It's because as soon as you get better equipment, you're not actually making your life easier, because you're immediately reaching for the next thing, right?
Right.
But so
PowerWash
far,
Simulator was really bad for that, because that was, here's your more powerful power washer, but now you've got rust to deal with, which, it's okay, well, what's the advantage?
Yeah, the thing with Dave the Diver is at least, when you do make that next leap, so you get, a new diving suit, so you can go deeper or whatever, they're, notable changes in the environment, right? So it's just right, so I'm now in, the depths where you need, so, I had to unlock, a head torch so I could see what I was doing.
Always going on about the bloody depths.
I bloody love the depths,
Always
mate.
talking about the
bloody
bleeding
love the
depths.
I need to be below the earth, and it needs to be too dark. That's what I want.
Generally featureless.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how it's played out so far. As I say, I don't know how that sort of continues to play out. But yeah, I am enjoying the fuck out of it. I think I think I put 20 hours in the last week or something.
Holy shit! That's the other problem with these games, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can sink so much. I need to see how much I've put into what's it.
Yeah.
I better check that actually. Go on. Yeah.
Before I move on, can we have a short break, because I'm pretty sure Lupa's done a shit in the living room.
Yeah.
Cheers. Talk
Let me
amongst
just
yourselves.
that.
Won't be a minute.
Let me have a look to see how long I've been playing this fucking game. I bet it's probably not that long actually, because I only started it the other day.
Actually, I'm gonna go for a shit in the living room myself.
Oh, enjoy your shit in the living room.
I might join you. It's.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
I might join you. Do you know what I was thinking the other day? I could really do with a new Life is Strange game.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Recently played. Here we go. Apply. Why isn't it? It's not showing up arcade thing on my. That's weird.
I'm going to toilet.
back.
Oh, you are going. Okay. Hello, Avon. I hope you're enjoying the show. Are you all enjoying the show? Good. Achievements. Here we go. Yeah, Arcade Paradise. I have played it for 4.5 hours in just a couple of days. That's not good. But it's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Life is strange, isn't it? It sure is. Hi, Dave. Hi, Sai2685. How you doing? Hello, Phil Wall. Good to see you last week. Hi, Ben. Never seen you. The show's been very funny. Thanks. It feels like one of those ones that's kind of gone off the rails again. Cheers, Ryan. C. Appreciate you all. Yes, it's been excellent, like every week. Cheers, Ryan. Hi, Mr. Shysmall. Good to see you last week as well. Simi Baseline. Loving the show. Cheers, mate. No, cheers, because sometimes you do wonder if it's like getting stale, but I don't know. We still really enjoy recording these. How many hours into Rocket League are you? Oh, there's a question. Should we check my Rocket League? I think it gives you in days and stuff, so it's not going to be immediately clear. I have played Rocket League just on the Xbox, right? So this doesn't include the hours on PlayStation and Switch. I played it for 36 days and 32 minutes.
Quite a long time, isn't it?
Yeah.
My word.
Yeah. I've racked up 24,376 wins in that game. With 9,310 goals, which is actually quite shit. But yeah, some game that is. The show's been adequately southern today. What does that mean, Pubis? What does that mean? It was brilliant to meet you and the lads last week. Cheers, Ryan. It was brilliant meeting everyone. Everyone was just fucking great, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, it was an amazing weekend.
We were saying, we didn't say it too much like publicly, but damn, that was a come down afterwards.
Oh yeah, I was about to say it. Yeah,
Fucking
like
hell.
the Sunday and Monday. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that all the time. That was way better than
Can't that just be our lives now for the rest
regular
of the
life. Yeah.
Any
brilliant.
thoughts on the FIFA trailer? I've not seen the trailer. Have you seen the trailer, James?
No, I've not seen it yet.
I haven't seen the trailer either.
I
I
saw
saw
the
the
front
Ultimate
cover,
Edition
it's
cover
shit.
got released. I didn't know it was a trailer. What the fuck?
Yeah, the cover was terrible.
It was, yeah.
Well, no, that's just the Ultimate Edition. There's a trailer. What?
Do you reckon that's more or less than the amount of freeze you've played? That's a fucking good question. Should we have a freeze count? See how many games I played on that. Let's see where we're up to. What's cool about freeze is that it doesn't just tell you how many games you played. It does this.
Oh, Dave, I think you should do another freeze stream where you you attempt to break a milestone. Oh yeah, that counting up was nice. So, is there a new trailer?
it takes
Oh
forever.
yeah. Fucking hell, there is a trailer.
Is it?
Yes, the first trailer's out now, and there's a full live stream unveiling on the 13th, which
if there's
is
going to be.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, yeah, but it's not going to tell you anything, is it? Yeah, fine. Have you sorted out what have you done to pro clubs? That's all I care. Why does Haaland look about 40? Why does he look so big compared to all the other people at the end there?
Well, he is big.
What is that about? Look at. Yeah, I know, but look at it. He looks like a Fortnite character in that. We're still counting up the amount of
I'm well excited for this
freeze
game.
games I've played.
That is ridiculous.
It's going to get more ridiculous, mate. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I just want to know what they're doing at pro clubs. As long as I can do SBAB. I'll show you a goal that I scored in pro clubs in a minute. Dave, have you heard Jim Trinker on Arcade Paradise yet? No. What do you mean? He's in the game.
Hello.
Jim Trinker's in Arcade Paradise.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Ben mentioned that.
What is he in Arcade Paradise? I don't. There's not much voice acting in it. Also, it fucking infuriates me that none of us have been asked to be in a game. Like, it really does piss me off.
Yeah.
Him and Rich
be in a
enough
game.
People...
To be in any game. Like, no one's got in contact saying, please be in their game. Here we go. There you go. It's finished counting. I've played 37,000. 428 games of freeze. There you go,
How many?
man.
37,000.
Too many.
Only 37. What?
Should we do do you want to do a stream for 40,000, Dave?
Oh my
I
god.
will forget.
Oh,
I
I'll
will
mind you.
forget.
He'll just blow past 40,000 without even realising.
He's a radio guy. Oh, maybe I haven't got radio yet. It must be on the. Yeah, I think you can get a radio for your computer in your office. I'll have to check that out. But why haven't none of us been asked to be on a game? That pisses me off, actually.
We don't want
right.
paying. I don't care. I'm just.
I want some.
Nah.
But still.
It depends on how
I'm
much
just
work it
thinking,
is.
Fable. There's going to be so many fucking Cockneys in Fable. Just let me be one of them. Then. Do you have to be registered in England to
Over
voice
part of a
act?
union or something.
No, you don't. No.
You don't, do you? You could just turn up and go, hello.
Yeah.
All right.
As long as there's contracts sorted, we can. Yeah, we'll do something. I'll get in touch with people.
Yeah, you ask your studio. I could be in one of those games. Come on. I'm a zombie.
Well, we don't do zombie stuff.
They're
Send
always
them that
saying
bit.
that, aren't they?
Send them that
Zombies.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll clip that and say, "Hey, you
Uh,
got a whole new
zombie.
talent."
I'm a zombie.
Also, no, let's not use that take. I'm a zombie.
This is so Ben's saying you need to know the right people. I guess I feel like we do. That's what's so strange.
No,
I feel like
don't.
Yeah.
definitely.
We get a lot of messages from. This isn't going in the show. We get a lot of messages from devs that say everyone listens in their studio. We've had that from some. We've had that from some big places.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names, but
Which is amazing, by the way. We absolutely love that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, A,
the
just
stuff
because
is
it's
better.
cool, and B, the fact that the fact that game developers listen to this and don't repeatedly get annoyed at it is amazing.
That we know about.
Yeah.
well, no, they get annoyed. Trust me.
I've got a feeling one developer might be pissed off this week.
What, Peter Molyneux?
Yeah.
Nah, let's not.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
So,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
should we crack on?
we get back on the main show?
Right, so you were talking about.
So I finished with Dave the Diver, and I
Diver.
was going to move on to
Right. Okay.
Pikmin.
Let's just go from here then. Okay, you ready?
Cool. Yep.
Okay. So what else have you been playing this week, Sean Bell?
This week, I, Sean Bell, have been playing the Pikmin 4 demo.
Can we do that? Like I'm interviewing you at the start of Lucky Strike. Every time now we just walk over. What do you do for a living, Sean? You've been playing the Pikmin. I've played the Pikmin 4 demo, and what did you make of it?
I think it's put me off buying the game.
Oh,
Really?
same here. Yeah,
See,
same here.
I've played it as well. Did you finish it, Sean?
I haven't finished it yet. No.
How far did you get?
I'm like I don't
Title
know,
screen.
I've got I think I'm sort of halfway towards the limit of the.
It's a really long
sparkling.
demo, isn't it? Isn't it
It's
like a
very
several-hour
long,
demo?
very generous demo.
Yeah, but not for great reasons though. Is it long? I would say.
I can't, and I'm sure this will level out as you get further in the game. I don't know if this was always a thing with Pikmin and I just forgot. Maybe it annoys me more now. The frequency with which it takes control away from you.
Yeah,
To
and the
just be like,
dialogue.
oh, here's a thing you haven't seen before, and we can't trust you to just fucking figure it out by context, so we're going to show it you. And most of them are skippable, but this one cutscene will be broken into 3 skippable segments. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll skip one segment, and it's just another cutscene. Just skip that one as well, and this
Right.
one. I don't know, man.
that
It's absolutely
also-
winding me up.
Really, really irritated me as well. There's far too much dialogue, and it's it stops you every few. It feels like every sort of 10 or 15 seconds it's
Yeah,
stopping you to
it's
introduce
ridiculous.
something.
That
And
will
it's like,
go
you
though.
don't-
That
you
will
don't
go
need
in the
to do
main
that.
game.
Well, no, but
but
that's
that
the thing.
does. I mean, that was certainly the case in Pikmin 3, where it was sort of front loaded with stuff, and then the rest of the game was here. You are on a level. You know the concept.
But this is.
But
I
now
feel
it's
like-
That's what I'm
different,
saying because you see, I played this through to completion, the demo, and I was hooked by the end actually. And
Okay.
the reason is because all of that goes away, and there's no longer any more sort of sudden stops and all that, to try and explain stuff. And I started exploring the level, which was pretty huge, and really started to enjoy it. It was especially because of the like the new edition with these like underground areas. Have you been to any of those?
I have, yeah, they're all right.
And they're great because it takes away like the time constraint.
Yeah, the timer just stops, right?
And then it's just like these small discrete puzzles that you have to kind of figure out, and they're really nice. I mean, the addition of the dog, I don't really see the point, honestly.
That hasn't really, because I know obviously it does that bit at the very start with Olimar where he's got a dog, but it's massive. So I assume
it's like a 3D. It's like a 3D. It was weird because it was like I played Pikmin 3, and when I started the demo, I was like, why is there like a 3D action bit here? This is odd. There's a bit where you're winding up to beat a boss and stuff.
They've done that in the others as well.
Did they really? I don't remember that in 3, but mate, I did play it a long time ago.
But so I think that's sort of telling you like your dog's gonna grow up and it's gonna get big, and then you can ride around on it, and then it can jump and all that stuff.
You can upgrade it as well.
Whereas, then when you're playing as your actual guy, quite like the character creation, to be fair, because it's one of those where, like, don't even bother trying to make your character look normal or cool. Like, just make an absolute freak and enjoy it. Like, they all look weird. It's fine. But I will crack on with it. I was fucking falling asleep playing it because it's, I say, just every 2 seconds, like, just like, here's another thing we can't trust you to learn.
But no, seriously, once the training wheels come off it, it's much better, and it's I really enjoyed it. I mean, I was hating it, honestly, for the first part of it. I was like, I'm close to just deleting this because this is irritating me beyond all measure.
We get more impatient with that shit as we grow older, because there is part of me that's like, I can't be bothered to learn new systems. I cannot be bothered, which is terribly reductive. It's an awful way to think.
If I wouldn't mind if it was only telling me the new stuff. Like, obviously, I understand this could be anyone's first Pikmin game.
I was going to say, like, to mass in the audience. Like,
give me an option to just say, yes, I've played a fucking Pikmin game. I don't need a cutscene going, if we take these big red buttons to the thing, then more Pikmin. I know!
It's like when you play a first person shooter and they're like, X is reload. Oh, no shit.
You are kidding.
Here's a step here. As I approach it, it will say at the top, A is to jump.
Press B to crouch to get under this log.
If you think about Tears of the Kingdom, though, they don't give you hardly anything in that, really, in terms of like instructions on how to do
that as well.
You kind of figure it out, as you're going along. Why is this different? Like, why do they have to feel the need to have to
it is a little bit more complex, right? I mean,
it's not
a lot
at all.
It is a little bit. I think it is. I think it is.
Zelda's way more complex than Pikmin, I would say.
Mechanically, though, I would say maybe not more complex, but Pikmin's more unique, right?
Yeah.
So you can transfer some stuff over to Zelda, Whereas, like, I don't think it's as easy to transfer skills over to Pikmin, really. But I think I'm with you, Sean, though, in that I believe you, James, that actually once it takes the training wheels off, like it starts to open up and it gets really good. But I sort of played it, just went, oh no, actually I don't really want to play a Pikmin game this year. I'm okay. So maybe I'll come to it at some point. But I liked Pikmin 3, but I really enjoyed it back in the day. But I can't imagine sitting down and playing that game again, if you know what I mean. So, and again, totally unfair. It's not really directed as a criticism towards the game. It's just the space that I'm in at that headspace I'm in at the moment. It's kind of like,
So that's Pikmin 4 demo. I mean, as you said, it's a very generous demo. Your progression carries over into the full game, which is always very cool. Really like it when devs do that because it's probably not easy to do. Like demo, like the size, the way games are made now and how complex they are, demos are not easy to do in and of themselves. So doing one where it's like, here is the first bit of the game, and then you can just crack on when you buy the full thing. That's ace.
If it means that we don't have to go through those tutorials again, then that's great.
Because that was something that really killed Sable for me. Was like doing the demo, and it was just all the tutorial stuff, and it was pretty tedious. And then the full game's like, oh right, I've got to do that like hour again. Pikmin 4.
Yeah, I've always had a problem with that with demos. Like sometimes you want to go, well, just make it. It doesn't have to be from the game, but then you realise actually I'm talking about thousands of pounds. It's worth nothing.
So is
but that's
Pikmin
been
4
done before.
What's that
Go
say?
on. That's been done before, where demos have been released and it's the mechanics of the game, but it's not actually a level from the game. It's
That's
like
right. Yeah, it's
specifically built for a demo.
Yeah,
for a
unique,
demo,
Yeah, I love that shit. But
Which
so
I guess is usually something that was going to be in the game but had to be cut for some
probably
reason.
right.
But even
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
it's a cool way of doing it.
Yeah, it is a cool way of doing it.
Mm.
Expensive.
Sorry, Matt.
So is it just James that's probably going to buy us on day one?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I'll see. Yeah, I will crack on with the demo, so maybe I'll change my mind.
I guess it's this the Mario Wonder that the big Nintendo games of the fall, right?
For this year,
when's Pikmin 4 out? It's quite soon, right?
Yeah, I guess it is summer.
It's July. No, I think it's July 21st.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
fucking
long
no
at all.
chance. And there's too many other games coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. What's on your list?
Oh god,
The depths.
I'd have to the depths. Gotta go spend more time in the depths. So we've got Exoprimal this week.
Was that this week?
Yeah, man, that's this Friday.
Okay.
And then
Game Pass
what
as
was
well?
it? I remember I was looking at the Xbox store earlier and be like, fucking hell, there's like something every week for a little bit. For me anyway. But off the top of my head, I can't fucking remember, so that's good, isn't it?
All right. Okay. Well,
The
I've called
Edge
you on it.
browser, Netflix.
I've called you on it, and you haven't come up with anything.
I've
so you
annapurnaed
will
it.
be buying
Yeah.
Pikmin
Never read a bad game.
next. Is that everything?
Oh, sorry, that's it from me.
James Farley, the headline act.
Yeah.
Main
So,
event.
aside from Pikmin 4, which I did enjoy, I've finished Street Fighter 6, as in I finished the World Tour mode, but I keep going back to it because I finished it in the sense that I've done all the story stuff, but I've still got a couple of like side missions and stuff that I might go back to, and I do keep going back to it because it's still really great and really fun, and it's brilliant from start to finish. There was a brief moment at one point where you had to like grind a little to be good enough to be able to to fight like the final sort of areas. But then once I'd done that, it was great. And yeah,
Nice.
I've heard that with the character that they're going to be adding like new characters to this as well potentially. So the World Tour mode may even get expanded slightly. So
Ah, cool.
I'm
Yeah,
in for
because
that.
What do you mean you've heard that?
Rashid
Who's told
is
you
getting
that?
added soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they start adding those into the single player stuff, that'd be really
Is that
cool.
you in the world of gaming journalists all muttering between you? Is that it, James? What you're hearing
It's my contacts, but I can't obviously can't.
been on
say
roll
who.
muck, and you? Been on roll muck.
James, is it I love Japanese games.com?
It was not that site, no. But
Is it MattMurray.com? Is it MattMurray.com?
I no longer hold control of MattMurray.com.
Don't say that, James. Anyone could buy it.
James sounded like James. Well, they've bought it now, Matt.
Ah,
They've bought it. They've bought it now. Now that we've said it, it's out there. You bought that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's been great.
No,
and
sorry, just on Street Fighter. I mean, I assume, James, you didn't play like the Mortal Kombat single players, and because people were raving about them. Like, and I'm not really into fighting games, but I know I loved the Soul Calibur campaign, like back on Dreamcast, and so it's amazing. Like, would you say it's like the best single player campaign of a fighting game you played in ever, or you seemingly clearly quite enjoy it? But
I'd say it was, yeah. I'd say because I loved that Soul Calibur single player like, campaign as well. That was great. I mean, this is quite similar in the sense that it is like you're building a character and you're developing that character, and through the fighting system. And I think I still think this is great. Like they can't release another one like this without this mode now for me, because this has been the draw for me, is playing through this. Although I am starting to play online as well now, and to do fights
course you
online,
are.
which is
How are you getting on?
not great.
he's
I mean, I'm
wankered
not-
every night.
Yeah, not doing so great, but it is it is great. It's still really good. But the other thing that I played mostly, actually I wouldn't say mostly. I've only played it for maybe about an hour. I would say so far, maybe an hour and a half. Is how do I say this? Is this
most sleep?
is this
Synapse,
Synapse
right?
or Synapse? How would you say
Synapse,
this?
isn't it?
I'll say Synapse, but it depends where you're from. I bet Americans probably say Synapse.
David, what do
Who
you think?
gives a shit what
I say
Americans
I say
would
tube.
say, Matt?
I say tube.
I say
Yeah,
tube.
I say Synapse tube.
Okay.
Synapse.
So anyway, so Synapse
Americans
is
say Yoshi and aluminum.
Good point.
And Mario.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
Farset.
They do say four.
Cyborg.
Teamwork.
All right.
So anyway, so this is a
Cowabunga.
PSVR 2 game.
Suck my dick.
Fucking hell.
That's what they
always
say.
saying
They
that
say that all the
sometimes, the
time.
Do they? What do you mean? Do they all the time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
constantly, like dinner table, funerals. Yeah.
They
Bar
they
mitzvahs.
said it at passport control when we went. Go on, Joe.
Synapse. James.
Yeah, so it's a PSVR 2 game, and there were there was trailers for this, and a lot of people seem quite pumped for it because it's a shooter, but it's quite an interesting premise whereby you are a person who is going into somebody's mind, and you have to break down the defenses so that you can get further and further in, so you can extract some information. That's the whole point, and you're kind of like an assassin kind of guy. And I mean, I'm going to explain a lot of stuff here, which is probably going to be wrong because I'm not entirely sure about some elements of this game.
I haven't really fucking played it. I'm just making it up.
No, I've only played for like an hour and a half, not as long as I'd like to play it. But it is one of those games which I've spent a lot longer in VR than I would normally, in the sense of it's like I want to have another run at this. Because what it is that you go through, I think it's like 6 layers.
Reminder, you played it for an hour. This is one of those games that I want to play for longer than usual. Go on.
What do you mean?
Well, you've only played it for an hour. So
Yeah, I know,
what
but
are
the
you
whole
talking?
game itself, you can finish in like 3 or 4 hours apparently. So it's
Okay.
I have played some elements of this, and so you've totally put me off now. I don't know how to explain this. Okay,
That's my fault, isn't it?
let
Go
me
on.
think how I can explain how this works. So basically, you stop it. Come on, this is not fair. This is
We've
not
not
fair.
done anything.
You're sitting there just like smirking. It's like
Oh yeah, it'd be really rude to just start chuckling during someone else's bit, wouldn't it, James?
Yeah, I mean, it's outrageous. Like
I've just
absolutely
had a text
outrageous.
from Matt. What did it say? Is it something that's not relevant? Go on. Go
So
on.
it's a first-person shooter, and so you have gun in right hand, but in the left hand you could also do telekinesis kind of stuff. And then each time that you go into one of the areas, it's not initially. I thought this was randomly generated like a roguelike, but it's not. It's actually each of the levels they do sort of come up over and over again. But each time that you start the level, it's different each time. So it could be one of many that you have to go through. And what happens is you collect I don't know this. How do I put this? Oh, this is why I really didn't want to describe this game because it's really difficult for me to.
No.
describe for some
My
reason.
favourite thing that you've described so far is that it's like a shooter, so you have gun in right hand. That was my favourite bit of that.
I need to play more of this.
So you push button.
You have gun in right hand.
You didn't have to put it on the list, James. This is
No,
an
because
unforced
this is
error.
what's really annoying because I've really enjoyed what I've played of it. It's really, really fun. It's really, really good. This is the best. I'd say it's the best PSVR 2 game I've played so far.
Oh, fuck off, James.
Yeah, but when you play
Wow, I thought we were
Headshot
friends.
Fever, when you play Headshot Fever, do you have gun in right hand though?
You do actually, and left hand.
You get gun in
You
both
prick.
hands.
That's essential. That's essential for James's enjoyment of the game.
So anyway, as you go through each stage and each area, you perform actions which will then unlock upgrade points as you go through. And then it's a bit like with look, for fuck's sake, just fucking forget it. Fucking forget it. I'll talk about this next week after I've played more of it because this is fucking ridiculous. It's
You can't blame you can't blame us, James.
I can because you're sitting there guffawing at everything I'm saying, and it's
Because what
just
you're saying is weird. Because you haven't played it enough.
I haven't
made a
played it enough.
mistake.
No,
You've come into the
but it
show, you
is
haven't
very
played it
good
enough.
and it's very addictive and very enjoyable. It's like playing something like
Enjoyable?
Hades. It's like playing
very
okay.
enjoyable.
Structurally, it's like playing Hades or something like that. That's why it's so good.
It's a roguelike.
No, it's not. It is and it
It's
isn't.
got deck building.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah, it is and it isn't in terms of being like a roguelike. It's as I
Yeah, but
said,
it is run based, isn't it, James?
yes, it's run based.
Yeah.
You run
It's run
through.
based.
You upgrade your character. You can upgrade your telekinesis so that you can pick people up and start throwing them around. The place as well. You can upgrade
So
your
I haven't played
weapons.
it, but does the actual kind of using the telekinesis and the powers and throwing them up and stuff, does that feel good?
Yes, and that's what's so good about it.
About
It's
the
like,
place.
especially when you can like pick people up, and then you could like shoot them if you fancy, and all that kind of stuff. And it's it's
Okay.
great.
Well, can we have a proper review of it next
Yes,
week?
I'll
James?
talk about it next week in more detail. For fuck's sake,
Don't have a go at me. It's not my fault.
it is when you're sitting there guffawing at everything I'm saying.
Right, stop saying guffawing. You've never sounded more middle class than you did right now.
Yeah, everyone in the
Stop
chat's enjoying that.
guffaw. Yeah. Also, we're laughing because you clearly have nothing to say about the game.
It's
at this
not
point.
true. I've got loads to say about this. I just can't
Yeah, but
articulate
one
it.
of the things you said was that it's got gun in right hand, James.
I said you have a gun in your right hand, and then
We're gonna
in your left
guffaw.
hand you have other powers like telekinesis. What's the wrong with saying that?
What's wrong?
See, once again, I'm last talking about stuff, and then everyone's fucked by this point, and it's really hot, and I've just had enough.
I'm last talking about stuff. What's wrong?
Okay.
I've got tears in my eyes.
What is so wrong about the doggy?
Fuck off, the lot of you.
Can you say it closer to the mic?
Fuck off, the lot of you.
Okay, too close. Too close.
Questions, Sean.
That's
what we've been
boost that
planning
in
this-
the edit.
That's what we've been planning this week. Honestly, I've got tears in my eyes. I don't think I've laughed like that for ages. All right, we'll hear about it next week.
So after,
Sorry, I know, because everyone, this is the thing. Everyone goes, well, you're having a go at James and you take a piss out of James, right? But there is a reason. Like, it's not... we're
Yeah,
not just
because
being
you wait
nasty.
until I get right to the end of the show and then make me do this when you know that I'm at my lowest ebb, and then it's difficult.
James, you play... Okay. All right, it's my fault. I'm sorry.
I just
So
want
it's
to
my
say,
fault. I'm sorry for the way that went. I'm sorry for the way that went, James. It's my fault. Is that better?
Go on,
James?
do the questions.
You can't just sit back and shake your head. You're on a fucking podcast.
I said go ahead and do the questions. Go on.
I'm sorry, James.
I don't believe you.
There we go then. So what's the point fucking apologising? Go on, Sean. What
I
was
just
the
want to say,
questions?
next year's quiz on the way to TCGSCON is already sorted. I've got 21 possible episode titles for this show. We're done. Thank you, James. This is great.
Yeah.
Sean won't get any of these.
No.
Go on.
So after Exoprimal, a couple of weeks after that, it's the Expanse game, and then a bit after that is Atlas Fallen, which looks like good
Oh,
fun.
right. Going back to this. Sorry,
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
all moved
And then
on,
after
Sean.
that is Armored Core, mate. So I'm
none of
Armored
these
Core, mate.
games.
sorted.
sound-
Armored Core, mate. And then
None
after that
of
is Bloody
these
Starfield. So it's looking like an all right time for me and no one else. Questions? If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Skylar from South Dakota says, if Wario was ever fired from Nintendo and had to get a regular job, on what career path would he excel?
Easy.
I
Easy.
reckon. I think he's a very much a contractor at Nintendo. I don't think he's on a full-time salary there. I think
They don't just keep him in a little... I think it's just a frothy way of saying it, Sean, to be
because
honest. I don't think you
Wario
need
is
to think
the
about it too.
sort of person who will happily take what looks like a better hourly rate, but forget that he's not getting any of the perks of full-time employment.
Sorry, what of his personality have you drawn this conclusion from?
Well, because he loves money and he's quite impulsive and stupid.
It's quite
So-
impulsive and stupid. That's why we had to create micro games for him.
Yeah.
They're called
It's
mini
easy-
games, but
Demolitions. They're not called mini games.
No,
Oh, no.
micro games.
No, you fuck yourself there,
Embarrass
Matt.
yourself there.
Go on.
Sorry.
are
You
they?
embarrass
Embarrass
yourself.
yourself on
Literally
live
called-
television.
Yeah.
I
In front of
do
all these
apologise.
people. It'd be demolitions, wouldn't he? It'd just run through the
Yes.
walls and take
Sprint
things down.
through the yeah.
Yeah, smash through it. It'd be great at that.
Yep.
Be great at that. Sorry, Matt, have you got a better idea?
Working at McDonald's.
He would be good at that.
Because he loves
Because
junk
the
food.
colour
I've
of
been
his-
on the Mario wiki on mario.fandom.com,
He's researched.
and he loves garlic and he loves junk food. In fact, I love this paragraph about him. Despite his hatred of working for free, Wario partakes in vigorous exercise in spare time, compensating for the fact he eats a lot of junk food. Wario is known to be a shrewd businessman, master airplane pilot, and talented hypnotist. Here's a strong aversion towards sand.
Okay.
See, I can see the
whoa,
McDonald's
whoa,
thing.
whoa, whoa. Matt, did you have to Google who Wario was?
No, I wanted to know his personality traits, and I found the whole section on him.
I mean, we're all sort of coming up on the fly, mate, and sort of having fun. Or
No,
what.
Sean had that knowledge baked in.
personality.
Sean had the money knowledge baked in.
It's true.
So what did you Google?
I just said Wario personality traits.
Fucking hell. Sorry, James. Sorry.
No, I mean, I could see him again. It is the burger thing, isn't it? Like running one of those burger vans like outside of B&Q.
That's a good shout.
No, I think he'd have like an upmarket one at like a.
No, he
posh
wouldn't.
inner city food
definitely.
market.
No,
Like a
definitely B&Q.
Artisanal
Artisan-
burgers. Yeah.
They're the best
By
ones
the
as
way.
well, aren't they, James?
They are pretty good.
When you
yeah.
go there and they just go, well, what can I have? Can I have a bacon baguette? What do you want a bacon baguette? You can have bacon, sausage, mushrooms, egg. You can have everything in this baguette if you want, mate.
in this roll, and that's it. Yeah.
God, yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
great.
Dripping with grease. How much? 12p. Okay, fine. How are you doing this?
Yeah, if you want the best
I've-
ones, just go to like industrial estates. Yeah, they're the ones that's really
Very similar.
really
Very
good.
similar.
Very similar.
Since when have you been to an industrial estate, Matt?
I googled one once. I googled one.
Look one up in
It's
case
good-
you ever needed one.
Yeah,
Google
Knows where his
searches.
nearest one is, just in case.
Yeah, where do they have those vans?
yeah. That's what I said. Actually, I might get
Go
that
on.
domain.
Where to get those vans?
Where do they have those vans.com? But you know what I mean.
What, the trainers or the vehicles? No.
Either one, no.
Either or.
The food
Either or,
joints.
Where those... Actually, it's available.
God.
The next question comes from Sensei Reginald. It
If
says,
you
"I
get a
enjoyed
bad
the-"
review, if you run one of those vans and you get a bad review, it's great because Google review, you just drive somewhere else and then park up there. Perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, just drive 10 meters down the road. It's like, no, not there. Different postcode, mate.
Do you not need do you need a license to run one of those?
I assume so.
Yeah,
Must
because you're
be,
selling
right.
food to the public, innit?
Yeah. No, do you need a license from the wherever you've parked it?
I mean, you probably have to have an agreement to be able to sell on the premises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B&Q are not going to let you sell bacon butties on their land
their
willy
turf.
nilly.
Not on their
Yeah.
patch. Yeah.
What if you're
Not
just
on their
really
patch.
good at it?
Are you saying we should do it, Sean?
I mean, I'm not averse to the
Are
idea.
you saying we should buy a van?
How much is it? How much does a burger van cost? Do you reckon?
Let's
for-
find out.
40 grand.
Okay.
Oh, are you going to call it Wario's Burgers though?
No,
don't
we
think
called
we- I
it
don't think we get away with that.
TCGS.burger.
I don't think the famously litigious Nintendo would allow.
I've got
Yeah.
one here. A VW drinks bar catering van,
Yeah.
£12,000. That's
Holy
cheap enough, all
shit.
of it. That's doable.
I'm willing to put 100 quid in.
Or you could buy a trailer. That's
How much
£8,900.
have you saved up for your new PC? Can we?
Yeah, it's probably
repurpose
around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, eBay. Oh, hang on. eBay, mobile catering trailer, 781 quid.
Holy.
Let's just do it, boys.
That's fucking.
That is definitely
TCGSCon.
not
We'll
gonna-
do the food.
Let's do it. Let's go to all the festivals.
We're not going to do any of this. Come on, let's move on.
Sensei Reginald says, "I enjoy the top bants, lads, but I have a serious question.
All right.
To stop my younger brother from walking in front of the telly while I'm playing a game, I've placed 2 rows of chairs stretching from the sides of the screen to my place on the couch. Am I being petty? Appreciate you all."
Yeah.
You're being clever.
That sounds pretty. I mean, it depends. Is there another route through the room? Like, is there no other way through the
No,
room?
it doesn't depend. The brother can go with you've got an older brother, Sean.
Yeah.
You should definitely be against this.
Well, I'm just saying, if there's no other way to get through the room, then that is
Right.
a bit more justifiable than.
And
like,
if there's
just being
another
lazy.
way to get through the room, it's just as justifiable. He can walk wherever he wants, mate.
It's obviously rude to walk in front of the telly while someone's watching something or playing something.
But marking
we're
out
missing-
your territory.
But we're missing
Exactly.
critical information. Like, how young is this younger brother?
That's true. 'cause
Good
if he's
point.
like
One could be 45, one
3.
could be 42.
Exactly. Yeah.
Imagine.
My 43-year-old younger brother that I live with is really getting on my nerves. actually.
Pause the game. Pause the game. I'm on the little brother side here because I'm a little brother.
What if it's an
And,
online game? What if it's one of those
What if he's
Souls
playing Dark
ones?
Souls?
What if it's
Yeah.
Elden
Yeah.
Ring?
Yeah.
Save up for your own gaff then. Come on.
Good point.
It's
Yeah,
that easy.
but what if they're both children?
Just
what,
stop
what if
buying
one's 2,
lattes.
one's 3?
Yeah, my brother is little Timmy, who contacts you regularly.
Yeah.
He's now a 13-year-old.
Well, little Timmy can go wherever the fuck he likes, as far
Yeah,
as I'm
yeah,
concerned.
yeah. Matt,
So I think the answer, Sensei Reginald, is yes.
Petty, yes. Clever, yes.
No, that's
or
not
do
clever,
what I
though,
did
is it?
and practically have your TV on the ceiling. Ain't no
Yeah,
one
no,
gets
don't do
away with
that.
that TV.
Do not do that.
I mean, my neck's fucked, but I can see it.
I bet it is.
Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS compartments, rucksacks and suitcases abound in games as the places in which players have to cram their inventory items. Yet different storage options exist, like bum bags or handbags. What is a more creative storage unit that you would like to see in games based on what has worked for you?
I've got a great
What
answer for
superb
this.
work.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've got a great answer for this. I bet it's the same one. Go on, Matt.
I doubt it.
Oh, go on then.
Sounds ominous.
Football shorts. So I wear
What?
football
No.
shorts, right? And sometimes I want my phone on me. So what I do is I tuck it in between my body and like the waistband and the football shorts. I'm thinking have it so your character places all the things in and around the shorts. Maybe it'd be great for VR actually. Look down, what have I got? Gun there, rounds there, ammo
it's
there,
all
bang.
around
Just have
your
a
waistband.
Yeah.
A utility belt.
Yeah, but just the short elastic waistband. Yeah. Was that your idea, Dave?
No.
Go on, Dave.
Mine was a pushchair. Because
Ah,
we got
yeah,
to the point where the kids didn't need pushchairs anymore, and we're still taking them places because it's basically a trolley.
Bloody handy
It's an
for- yeah,
acceptable
yeah.
trolley.
Maybe that's better than the shorts. I don't know.
Yeah, it is bad though, isn't it? It's like, we're going to Sutton. Should we bring the pushchair? Well, he doesn't use it anymore, so no. But also, I don't want to carry the shopping around everywhere. So yes,
Well, plus, yeah, because
please.
when they've aged out of the pushchair, there's still a couple of years of but we'll probably need to have like snacks and shit with us just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just in case they get tired. And...
Yeah.
Also, there's this, right? If you bought a trolley the same size, right? Ain't no one holding doors open for you. Oh, he's just being lazy. He's got a trolley with his bags in it. That's fuck you. Whereas if you got a pushchair, everyone opens the door for you, baby. It's got a pushchair, baby. There you go. That's my pro tip.
Can we have the those belts with the secret? You can zip them open and put stuff in them.
What are they? I don't know what those are.
For people who are worried about getting mugged on holiday and stuff, so you keep like 50
It's like a
quid in
money
notes
belt.
in your belt.
Yeah,
What's it?
yeah. Like a money
Money
belt.
belt?
Yeah, money belt. Yeah. What else? What like some people, like if people are doing like a proper road trip on a bicycle and they have all the bags on the bike. Has there ever been a game where you have to where it's like a long distance cycling thing and you're like having to manage your kit?
Well, it's like saddlebags, isn't it? Like on horses or whatever.
Yeah.
Like from Red Dead or whatever.
I don't know, but that does sound like an interesting game concept, actually. You're just on your bike for ages and you got your puncher repair kit and
and
does it sound interesting? Things would have
That's
to
the
happen
thing.
along the way.
Cycling games are hard because cycling's an endurance thing most of the time, right? Unless it's like obviously something like Descenders or Lonely Mountains downhill. Cycling as an endurance sport
Or
is not
BMX
a fun
XXX.
thing. Yes,
Yeah.
all the classics.
California
cycling as an
games.
endurance sport is not a fun thing because there's been loads of Tour de France games and stuff, but I don't think any of them have. I think they lean towards management, right? You're not doing the cycling.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd work.
How about
James?
Go on, James?
James, what do you carry
Pushchair.
stuff
There
around?
you go.
Okay, pushchair. There
Fucking
you
hell.
go.
I was gonna
Brilliant.
say, how about the old bot?
What? Just
What,
up
right
the
out the
bum?
bot? Have you ever
Yeah.
carried anything in your bot?
Nothing I'm gonna admit on this show right now, but I'm saying, obviously the bot has been used for years to carry things across borders. I think there could be a game whereby, put things in the bot, second level, maybe a bot's a bit more ready to carry larger things.
How do you gamify the experience of having to store stuff up your arse?
Tetris, isn't it?
Consistently
I'm
mash
glad
the
you asked that
button.
question, Sean. It's the age-old question. It is.
Important. No, what's the risk reward of you
Well,
you
I
have
think
to
if
hold
you put
one
too
on
much
the
stuff in, it might
You have to
pierce
hold
your
one on the
bot.
trigger. The whole time that you've got
triggers
like a
and then-
3-hour
yeah,
journey
yeah,
and you've got
yeah.
to hold the trigger the whole time. If you
And
let
if
go
you
of the
let
trigger,
go,
comes
you
out the
shit
bottle.
are gone. Oh my god, Matt's gone.
Matt's had enough. Well, let's read the last question then, shall we?
Probably should. This is one for James. Comes from Janie Milligan. He says, I've been going over all the episodes of your wonderful show and I've come across James's proposal to name the TCGS game The Bitter Nest. James, and please be honest when you answer this, is this named after the 1992 erotic thriller Bitter Moon? Thank you so much for your honest response.
It's not, no. I didn't even know that existed.
Okay, if you
That is
look
my
it up, it
honest
might be
response.
the sort of thing you might be into.
Really?
Shame. Well, that's
It
for
does. It does sound like something that should be on Channel 5 in 1992.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's it for this week. Because I mean, you wouldn't have seen this if you're listening to the pod. Matt has disappeared,
Matt's actually just fucking
which
fucked
means, James, can we have the socials, please?
Yeah, why not? Let's do the socials. So on
off.
Thursday,
Oh my god,
Sean...
sorry, Matt's computer's fucking blue screened.
Oh dear.
Holy
Oh
shit.
dear. Well, let's hope that there's a backup recording
Oh, bollocks.
of his side. And
Yeah, right.
Sean is editing this week, so good luck with that. Go on then.
Okay, so streams this week. On Thursday, I think we're doing this... Well, Sean, you're doing the Far Cry 2 permadeath, yeah?
Yeah, thanks. That's big announcement, but all right. Yeah, so as of this Thursday, I'm going to start a new series where I'm going to do a Far Cry 2 permadeath run, i.e., if I die in the game, I have to start over. I mean, I've genuinely no idea how it's going to go. Like, it's not an easy game at all. But yeah, so it might be like that I literally die after 10 minutes, then be like, all right, I'll have another go. I don't know. We'll see. It should be interesting. It's just a game I've wanted to go back to for a while, and it seemed like it would be a funny / dramatic stream. So yeah,
Sounds good to me.
And then on Friday, probably I'm going to do Hitman. I will go back to that and play a bit more of that before going on to something completely different, I think, once I'm done with that, because I need to do something else. If you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, then you can subscribe to us, which we would appreciate, which is very nice. And we also have a Patreon at it's patreon.com/TCGSCO, is that right?
That's TCG. No,
Or is it just
patreon.com/TCGS.
Why is this not unified? Anyway, and then you got like TCGS Co for everything else. So yeah, thank you for listening.
And thank you so much for living it. We're not sure what the audio quality is going to be like on this pod now, but if it was lower than usual, we do apologise. It was Matt's fault. We will catch you next week for more video game chit chat. Have a nice week and stay safe out there. We love you. Goodbye.
bye bye.
Goodbye.